Alright, hitting play in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wumbo. Welcome to the Gaming Etc. podcast.
And I am Nostalginator, Wumbo's co-host.
And, nothing much really happened today. Super Bowl happened, but that's about it.
That's true, that did happen, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen next weekend, for some reason.
You know, so did I, and then I was at work yesterday, and someone's like, so, who are you rooting for tomorrow? And I wasn't entirely sure what they were talking about at first. I was like, oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Super Bowl.
That thing.
Right, yeah. Which is pretty much how that always goes, but you know, it's all good.
Okay. Tweets are out too, that's good. Alright. So how's your day, Nostal?
It was a normal day, which is, you know, it is what it is.
But just nothing much happened, and that's about it.
No, not really. I was actually pretty busy, but that's kind of becoming a normal day, so. What about you? Do anything fun?
Saturday I went to, like, a practice SAT thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah, even though I'm a senior, I still haven't taken it, which I know I should, and after this I'm going to be applying for some colleges, so.
Yeah, definitely want to get on that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I think the
deadline's like in June for some colleges, or at least the ones I want to go to, which is good.
Right, but to get the most financial aid and everything, you really should have already applied. So not so you know jumped on your throat or anything.
I know about it.
Okay.
Aware about that.
Good stuff.
Okay. Alright, do I have the docs page open? Yes, I do. Now, to be honest, I'll be completely honest, I found these articles in about... It didn't really take me long to find these articles. Not really much today, but you added a few, which is nice.
I added a couple.
Yeah. But, I found this one interesting from Polygon. Binding of Isaac being rejected by Apple.
Yeah, this is a thing.
Yeah. Have you ever played this game?
I haven't played it, but I've seen someone play it, so I know the basic premise, so to speak.
I have played the PS4 version. Hey, Stormstep, and I love you too, Stormstep.
Hi, Storm. How's it going, buddy?
But yeah, I played it on the PS4. It's, also played the original version, or at least the demo of it. It was actually on Newgrounds back in back in 2007 or something like that.
Back in the day.
Back in the good turned back time.
It's like that Michael Rosenbaum movie Back in the Day.
I have never heard of that.
It's on Netflix. It's a rom-com. It's a rom-com about 30-year-olds. So, take it with a grain of salt, but I enjoyed it.
Okay. Just the word rom-com seems like poison.
Oh, no, you gotta give rom-coms a chance, man, because you're gonna be watching them for the rest of your life. So, you gotta find something to enjoy about them.
I guess you're right. I mean, if I was with like some other, or a significant other who likes those, then yeah, I guess you're right.
It's just one of those things you gotta get into, at least in some respect.
But going back on this, I played it on the PS4. It's a pretty good game. It's definitely difficult.
Yeah, very much so.
I think I played it on the super hard mode as a default, so that's kind of why.
Okay.
But,
gotcha. That'll do it. Yeah.
But you get extra items, if I do believe. So it's a trade-off.
Sure.
Only one life. Dungeon crawler. Random maps each time, and definitely gruesome. And it's based off of a Bible story.
What more could you ask for? And again.
So apparently, was it supposed to be coming out on Apple's computers or just phones? And if so,
as far as I understand, it was iOS. So
iOS,
the phone,
yeah,
the iPods, yeah.
Yeah. I can think of a few things that are worse than this, but this is pretty.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, this game is about a kid running away from his mom who's trying to kill him.
Sure, but at the same time, think of how many games that are on iOS that are arguably worse than that.
And also, not just that, but like, let me think. Or like the other people who are trying to scam you for getting money, like the whole Minecraft 2 thing.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, it's not like it's, some random publisher having their go at a first game. This is Binding of Isaac. They've been around the block a couple times,
Same people who made Super Meat Boy. Awesome game.
Right, I mean, this is Team Meat, right? That's the developer?
They're only really... It's one of the developers of Super Meat Boy on this, and the same guy who made the soundtrack.
Okay, gotcha.
The other guy, I think they're still working... I don't know. I think he's working on another Super Meat Boy mobile game that's been in development for years.
Okay, fair enough.
Trying to find...
So where do you come down on this? Are you mad at Apple? Do you not really care? Or?
I'm actually trying to look at the App Store right now to see if I can find anything worse. I see Surgeon Simulator. I see Goat Simulator.
Right.
So, I sort of understand... Care about this now, huh? I sort of understand why they did it, because... But there are games out there on iOS that are, like, 17+, so...
Definitely. Yeah.
I find it strange that it's not on there, but I wasn't really that big of a diehard fan to begin with, so...
Yeah, it's interesting where they choose to draw the line on these things, and often it's not the overarching theme or the content. It's one tiny thing that goes over one tiny boundary that typically companies get all nervous about.
Maybe it's for this. It's either the the story of the game,
sure,
or the the graphic depiction of the Bible story, or just the graphics in general.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, I can't say I'm particularly surprised about something like this, but it goes back to me. It's the whole censorship thing, right? It's like, give artists a chance to do what they want.
Well, if you want to play this game, then you could just play it off of the PS4, PS Vita. You can play it on Steam, pretty much any other system besides cell phones.
Well, sure, but I mean, for every system that's out there, there's people who are only getting things on that system. So to bring it on iOS,
except for Microsoft, except for 3 games.
Right, but like, to bring it to something like iOS, which for a lot of people, there's a huge percentage of people that don't own any game consoles at all, but they do have an iPhone or an iPod. So because of that, it'd be nice to bring that to more people.
Yeah, I guess you're right, and yeah, because the quote-unquote gamer is not just people who have cell phones playing mobile games, and there's a large percentage of that too.
Right. I mean, where do we draw the line on what's, a quote-unquote gamer or not?
People who play Candy Crush, which is my dad, but he also plays Destiny, so...
Yeah. It's like, what... I think the definition of, being a gamer has kind of changed with recent generations.
It certainly has.
Yeah. Which may not be a bad thing, either. I don't know.
Okay. So, it would be nice if this came on mobile, but I don't really feel that big of a loss of it. I'm certainly feeling the company does feel a loss. The company who made this does feel a loss in finances for this. But
yeah, I mean, iOS, I don't have any statistics to back this, so take this with a grain of salt. But I would pretty safely assume that there is a larger market to be had on iOS than any other gaming console.
Because a lot of people have cell phone or smartphones in general, and a lot of people support Apple, including myself. I'm holding an iPhone right now, so.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of people that consume Apple tech, specifically the iPhone. So it is a bit of a loss, but at the same time, there are already quite a few people that are playing Binding of Isaac elsewhere. So I feel like their hardcore audience isn't going to not play it just because it's not on this platform. So
okay.
Roblox Craft says, Nostal, remember me? I have returned. I absolutely remember you, Roblox. How are things?
I'm reading the article. On the very bottom, it says the reason why this is taken down because of the depiction of child abuse, which, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I understand why.
Which again, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like I said, mom trying to kill kid because God told her to.
Yeah, and it's always one of those things, right? Just this one detail that pushes it over the line, and then suddenly people are like, all right, we're not comfortable having this in our store. So it's always kind of how it goes.
I guess that's why there isn't a physical copy of this yet. But then again, besides Shovel Knight and Life is Strange, there aren't really, and The Walking Dead season 1 and 2, there aren't really that many digital games that are released in physical media.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this day and age, when everyone has a high-speed internet connection and everyone's online all the time anyway, you have to ask yourself if it's actually worth it to make a physical release.
Hey, I bought a physical copy of Shovel Knight, so...
Sure, and there's going to be the diehard fans who always want that physical piece of, a way of showing that affection for things that they like, but I feel like the vast majority of people just buy things digitally anyway.
I mean, I could have bought the game for $15 and put it on my computer instead of bought the $25 version that comes on the Wii U, and it comes with a soundtrack and a almost 50-page manual for a game that's like 5 hours long at best.
Right, and there's always going to be that 3 or 4% of the demographic that cares about something enough to do that. But the vast majority, when you're looking at how do I make money back on this game, I think it doesn't really make sense to make a physical release.
I think it had a limited run though, so.
Did it?
Not limited run, but are people... What the hell?
Someone's dying. Wumbo is no longer with us, ladies and gentlemen. He's been killed by a specter. He was murdered in the face. It's unfortunate.
I'm sorry.
I'll have to... Oh, you're fine. I was just talking about how you died and how we were going to move on without you and we were going to keep your memory alive and all that.
The memory of Wumbo lives.
The memory of Wumbo will always live.
I'm sorry, my dad was knocking at my door.
No, you're good, man.
Okay.
That's what the show is.
Yeah. I guess I can move on to the next story. Todd Howard from Bethesda wins a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Good for Todd Howard. I'm proud of this young man.
Yeah. Although I thought he was the CEO of Bethesda. I didn't know he was the actual programmer of some of the games.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And to be fair, I'm not really a Bethesda fanboy. I have nothing against Bethesda. I typically don't have enough time to invest in their games, but I certainly know who Todd Howard is.
Yeah,
so it's very cool to see.
I really started learning about him more when Skyrim came out of all things.
Yeah. Well, I feel like he's one of the closest things that the games industry has to a celebrity.
Well, that and certain game composers and Hideo Kojima and certain AAA, famous game developers or programmers or so on and so forth. Hideo Kojima is probably one of the biggest or most known game developers, right?
Definitely, yeah. But I'd honestly say Howard's probably right up there with him.
Yeah, Howard is up there with him.
Yeah.
I mean, when Fallout 4 came out, I think I saw a news report from Fox News. It was an interview with him and just talking about the game and promoting it.
Right, and then, he was at Bethesda's panel at E3,
yeah.
or rather their conference. Then he also came on
That was
the PS4
awesome.
panel, right?
I didn't know he came on the Did he come on the PS4 panel?
It was PlayStation or Xbox, but he came on their panel as well. Not panel, I keep throwing that word around, their conference as well, after having his own. So people know him. He's a face at this point, which is a good thing.
Because obviously I saw the Bethesda one.
Right.
I skipped down the Microsoft one. I sort of skimmed on the Square Enix one and the EA. Well, no, I saw the EA one for some dumbass reason.
Right.
But I didn't see Howard at the PlayStation 4 one. At least I don't think I remember.
It was either Sony or Microsoft. I can't remember which.
I know they promoted both Fallout 4 for both Xbox One and PS4, or at both Microsoft and Sony's conferences. So
right.
it could be either one. You never know.
My instinct tells me it's Microsoft, just because Sony had I don't want to call it a bloated, but a very packed conference at E3 this year.
It was very.
They had Final Fantasy VII, and they had Shenmue 3, and they had.
The Last Story, Uncharted 4 at the very end, that one game with dinosaurs that are robots, which I forget the name, No Man's Sky, Event Horizon.
Horizon looks awesome. Yeah.
Is it, Horizon?
That's the dinosaurs near the ninja.
Yeah, it's called Horizon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought it was Event Horizon, like the movie.
I think it's Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that. I don't know. Something like that.
But can you look up how long Howard's worked in Bethesda?
Yeah, I would love to.
Like going as
Todd Howard, video game designer, born on April 25th, 1971, is an American video game director, designer, and producer. All right, gonna skip all that. Let me see. He was finally able to join Bethesda Softworks in 1994, so over 20 years.
Wow. He was like 20 when he joined it now. Okay.
Yeah, he's been around the block a couple times.
Roblox Craft put a link in here. I might as well check it out. What the hell is... Roblox, what is this? It's a soundtrack, right?
And again, Roblox, nothing personal, but I'm not clicking on any links in the chat.
It's a soundtrack, I think. It's
Gotcha.
it's a FNAF soundtrack, and yeah. By the way, Roblox, since you're kind of new to here, he got doxxed twice actually, by hitting links.
Yeah, I don't ban for links. Your message won't get deleted. I won't do any of that. I'm just not gonna click on them. So.
Yeah. Just sorry, man. I'm not. And plus, we're still in the middle of a podcast right now, so maybe I'll check it out later. But
yeah, thanks for sending it, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But yeah, really cool that Howard's getting this award. I'm wondering though, what other the GDC award? But I'm wondering what other developers have gotten this award.
None that I know of. To be fair, this isn't really something I follow very closely. But none that I know of have received this in their lifetime. So.
Mm. Okay.
Let me see.
Ooh, Bethesda is doing another conference this year.
Yeah, I saw that, which is interesting because how many teams does Bethesda have? Two separate development teams.
I might as well hit that. Yes, I do. If I do believe, if I could.
Okay.
Where is it? Similar story.
So we assume
I'm just gonna hit
one. Yeah, you're good.
I'm gonna hit the similar. I didn't know about this. The Bethesda panel.
Right. So you figure one of their teams was working on Fallout 4 since the release of Fallout 3, because Vegas was made by someone else.
ZeniMax, if I do believe. ZeniMax?
Yeah, it sounds...
And, I'm thinking, though, what else can they... for E3 2015, their big, flagship thing that came out was Fallout 4. All the trailers, gameplay, and everything, because they had it ready.
Right, and they announced Fallout 4 before E3 even, just so it wouldn't get leaked.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They can have a panel, and they can be on other people's press conferences, but to hold their own press conference means, in my opinion, they have at least 3 big-name games to announce.
And thinking about it, there's only 2 games I could think of. Well, no, wait, there's an obvious one. I could think of Dishonored 2, Doom.
Well, Dishonored 2's been announced, so is Doom.
I'm guessing, and I'm predicting, and a friend of mine even said this too. Elder Scrolls 6.
Which I feel like is the obvious choice.
Yeah, and then more online shit, because no one I know plays that. But
right.
I know it's it has its community.
Right.
Just
so run it through with me last year. We got Doom out of their conference.
We got Doom, which I think is coming out this year.
Dishonored 2. We got Dishonored 2. We got Fallout 4.
There was just one
we
other.
Got Fallout Shelter.
Oh yeah, I actually downloaded that for about a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it started to feel a little repetitive after a while, but it was a decent mobile game.
Yeah, I mean it's mobile gaming. You know.
If it had like some more connections with Fallout 4, like if you play this game for a little while longer, you can unlock something with Fallout 4 with a code or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And to be fair, I don't think they were like, hey, this is the game you're going to play for months and months. I feel like they were saying, hey, Fallout comes out in 6 months. Here's something you can have until then. Yeah, it's just a tiny bit more.
It was just made to hold us over.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it did that job pretty well from what I heard.
Okay, we had Minecraft emojis. Okay.
Woo!
For Doom, I'm actually kind of excited for Doom but I'm not really going to keep I'm a little excited, but I'm not really that big of a fan of Doom. I have played the originals, so I haven't played Doom 3 Big Fucking Gun Edition, so... Which that's what it's called.
I appreciate what Doom has done, both for the genre and for the franchise. I look at that game and I'm like, this looks like shooting monsters very, very violently and very, very quickly, and a lot of people are going to like that, and that's great. I have no interest in this.
At least play it to, understand,
Sure. But I don't know, for the most part, I feel like I've played enough games where I shoot a bunch of things. Like, I feel like the older I get as a gamer, the more I'm looking for different new experiences. Which isn't to say it's a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. It's just that I don't know if I'm necessarily the target demographic for that.
You want something more in gameplay, something with more substance, and something that hasn't aged, which we'll eventually get into, aged badly. Which Doom hasn't aged badly, just, gameplay over time has been more complex,
And for me, it's not even complex. Like, when I think about the games that have really, really struck me in the last year or two, none of them are other than maybe Metal Gear, none of them are particularly, demanding in a gameplay department. They're all very straightforward. So I feel like for me, nowadays, it's like, give me a story, give me characters, give me a world that I care about,
Well, Doom's story is a guy on Mars who finds a gate from hell and then kills things.
Yeah, and, for me, I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. Like, the story's there, it's not it's not a storyless game, but, I have no interest in that, personally. So.
Yeah.
And again, that doesn't make it any worse of a game because of it.
Okay. I have played it. From my opinion, it has aged... It actually hasn't aged that badly, but the gameplay does feel a little bit repetitive at times. Finding key cards around the place does feel kind of,
Sure.
The level design is kind of maze-like. There's some dead ends and such, and some secrets. That it's worth to check around to explore a little bit to find some secrets. But that's about it, really.
Now, to be fair, Doom is right up there with the first-person shooters, with Wolfenstein and Quake and all that. So to say it's a little repetitive in its defense, in reality, other games are copying it. It's not really copying.
Exactly.
The problem with it is going back to an older game like that after having seen those tropes used again and again and again in newer games. It always feels like it's the opposite.
It's the one that, in another example, is like Ocarina of Time, where it's this 3D adventure game with an open world. So many other games have done that since, so...
Right. Well, it's 3D is not impressive nowadays. Everything is 3D. Who cares? It's more interesting when we see a 2D or 2.5D game nowadays, because those are a lot more rare.
Because of an oversaturation of the 3D, I mean,
they're not even... Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, there was also a time when there was an oversaturation of first-person shooters, and I was glad that other companies, Activision, for example, and EA, who were at least thinking, oh, why don't we release something else besides a first-person shooter because we're losing sales. And so Mirror's Edge came out, and fuck, what else?
For me, as far as the whole 3D goes, I don't even see it as a case of being oversaturated. It's like we don't say
it's a progression of technology, and we're just going to stick with it.
Exactly. We don't see, man, there's a real oversaturation of 1080p videos on the internet nowadays. That's just where the industry has gone. It's not necessarily a matter of we have too much. That's just what the new standard is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Kojima and Del Toro talking with DICE.
Never heard of them.
But yeah, I guess discussing creative vision at DICE. I guess this is kind of strange. Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro were once signed to create a new Silent Hill. Okay, we're gonna skip that because we already know what happened. Will be on stage during DICE Summit later this month to discuss their creative visions and organize announced this morning. Thursday morning afternoon session, a conversation with Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro will be monitored by Jeff Knightley and revisit with some of their fondest memories for individual careers as well as private moments of each other's remains a source of theirs. I guess they're coming together, so
so they can make Silent Hills, but not call it Silent Hills.
Exactly. Oh, hey, 2015.
Nothing about this surprises me except for the fact that it's with DICE, and that's what surprises me here.
DICE is owned by EA currently, right? Or they just work with EA? Because I know
that's an excellent question. DICE.
Because I know the Battlefield games and Battlefront, are from DICE
right.
and published by EA.
EA DICE, Electronic Arts, Digital Illusions, Creative Entertainment. So it's a subsidiary of EA.
Oh. Well, okay, DICE can make beautiful games, so give them that. But
what has DICE made? I can't think of a DICE
Battlefield, game. Battlefront.
Right.
Which do look amazing.
Maybe I should rephrase it. I can't think of a DICE game I've played.
Okay, I played Battlefield 4. Which I've heard is kind of... I've never played any of the other ones, but for what I've heard, that one's considered to be an okay game in the series.
Interesting. They're making Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Yeah, I know about that. They made the first Mirror's Edge.
Huh.
2015 Hall of Fame Award will be presented by Hideo Kojima by film director and writer Guillermo del... So, yeah, I guess Kojima won the Hall of Fame? Or, wait, what?
I mean, he can put it on the shelf with all of his other millions of awards he's gotten.
Yeah, I'm sorry for dead silence. Just I'm trying to read this.
Oh, you're good.
DICE organizers will announce that Kojima, the auteur formerly behind Konami's Metal Gear Solids, and the 25th
Never.
and will be the 21st member of the Academy of Arts Institutes and Science Hall. So they're people at DICE are just discussing stuff with them, and Kojima's being presented with another award, which isn't really that shocking.
Again, the only thing I'm curious about is why DICE.
I don't, because DICE makes pretty games. That's all I could think about. I have no idea why DICE.
But here's the thing: is DICE makes pretty online games. They're known for Battlefield. They're known for now Battlefront. It's interesting that and sure, Mirror's Edge, things like that, but for the vast majority of their library is online games. So the fact that Kojima, who has all the money and all the time in the world right now, is going to meet with them and looks like it's getting into bed with them, I think is interesting.
Maybe this is just going to be like him going on a worldwide tour of tech. Just trying to get ideas of what he wants to do, and DICE seems like it could be an idea for him.
It might be, but the fact that he's with Guillermo del Toro means, in my eyes, and again, this is probably going out on a bit of a limb, potentially online horror of some sort, which I think, if done properly, could be very, very interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
The problem is, don't make it into a fear online situation.
Oh,
where, it's scary because things are chasing you and you have to shoot them. It's not really horror.
It's not scary. It's scary because there's a JPEG that's popping up in front of your face.
Right, if that's horror, then Dead Space is horror, which it isn't. Anyone can fight me on that. By the way, I don't have to play Dead Space 2. Very happy about that.
Yeah, very happy that the Fine Bros didn't get their copy, or didn't get the trademarks, and you're happy because,
One, I was right, and two, I don't have to play Dead Space 2. So I have 2 reasons to be happy. Dead Space sucks. Anyone who's listening.
I've played it. It's okay. A little bit scary, but I haven't played it in a very long time, so I haven't. I can't.
It is not remotely scary. Wumbo is a giant baby poo-poo face, and I'm just kidding.
You're very mature. I could tell by your maturity.
Well, my thing, like, I came from the horror school of Hard Knocks, right? I came into Dead Space after Slender and Amnesia and Silent Hill, so it was like, those are like horror games on meth, and Dead Space is like baby's first horror game. So
well, at the time when I played it, I wasn't really too familiar with horror games, so...
Sure, and I think there's a point to be said to that. I may have had a very different, I don't think I would have, but I may have had a very different opinion of Dead Space had I gone into it as one of or my very first horror game. But because I did, it sucks.
I think the reason why I got a lot of attention back then, because it was like a AAA, highly marketed horror game that sold pretty well, and a lot of people it was highly marketed.
Sure, but I mean, so was Resident Evil and Silent Hill back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, and then there wasn't really that many horror games in that generation that was as highly marketed as Dead Space.
Yeah,
right?
And we saw sort of the 2010s and onward really bring horror back into the forefront, especially with indie gaming and YouTube. I mean, YouTube completely brought horror gaming back.
It did.
And really only by a handful of people, too. And, of course, now it's
Pewds.
as common as the day is long, but PewDiePie and Markiplier and...
Charlie Conroy and Jacksepticeye and everyone else. God.
They really came later, though. Like, when I really think about the people that made it, I think of PewDiePie and I think of Markiplier.
I think Chuck Conroy was early on, too.
Was he?
I think. Don't quote me on that. Hey, Izzy, and yes, my reading skills do suck.
Hey-o. Easy calling you out.
And yeah, it's true.
Well, yeah, but it's like Yami Mash and Jacksepticeye are two good examples, too, but, like, they didn't really make horror games a thing, if that makes any sense. Don't get me wrong, big followings and all that.
Yeah, but, like, the people who...
Not enough to bring it into the forefront.
Until, like, someone who has, like, over 40 million followers on YouTube...
Yeah, I mean, like, PewDiePie is the undisputed, like, king of YouTube. Markiplier is this giant, enormous force to be reckoned with now. And other people like Jack and Yami, while popular, just don't have that kind of reach.
I really should have put an article in here about something that retains to YouTube that I wanted to talk about, but you know, I might as well talk about it now. What do you think? What do you think about? Because this recently happened to not one, not two, but three, even four people now who I follow on YouTube got copyright claims.
I didn't hear about this.
All right, Channel Awesome, the Nostalgia Critic. Brain Scratch Commentaries, who aren't really that popular. They have about 60,000 subscribers, and I follow them. I've been following them for about a few years now. They do gaming commentaries. Really cool. Check them out. Who else? Adosa Buckley. Have you ever heard of him?
I have.
Yeah, I Hate Everything, which I learned about from the copyright claims, and he's pretty funny.
He is... I appreciate what he does, and I appreciate people that appreciate him, but he's not my style.
I like him. He's a different source of comedy compared to everything else on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's why I like him.
Yeah.
And, let me think. Those Buckley, Brain Scratch. Who else? Fuck. There was
what was the claim for? What was going on?
Let me think. Adosa Buckley's case was for a song, even though it was, a review of it. I Hate Everything, again, a review of something. Nostalgia Critic, a review of something. And Brain Scratch, it was on accident. It was not purely a full accident of an actress mistaking a character looking like her. And then she publicly apologized, and she actually released a video of her trying to take it down, but YouTube wasn't trying to take down the claim, but YouTube wasn't allowing it. Because the automated system was complete bullshit.
Well, and that's a tale as old as the day is long, right? We've been hearing about this since YouTube started.
No, but more, since all the copyright claims really started to come in around 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly happen more, but I mean, I feel like this is YouTube, It's like, I can't remember what the quote is, but democracy is basically referred to as like the most perfect of imperfect solutions or whatever.
And I understand why this...
It's basically this. I see YouTube as the same thing. It's there are certainly its flaws, but it's better than anything else out there. So for now, we just kind of have to make do.
I see I see your point, but since it's the biggest thing, they can make their own rules and such. But here's the thing that I find stupid. If you're wrongfully accused of this claim and you're immediately taken down for it, and you can't really contact YouTube on its own. You can't contact a human being at YouTube. You could contact the automated service thing, but that's it.
Well, you can always write customer support.
What customer support?
YouTube has customer support.
No, it ain't.
Sure it does. Make a support claim. You can write them. I've done it before.
Oh, I thought you're actually calling them. Oh, the support claims. Those are that 250 character thing?
No, hang on. I'm going into my YouTube right now.
I'm dead. Fuck. Is it the DMCA dispute or the...
Let me see. I mean, just straight up, like...
Actually talking to someone at YouTube? Good luck with that.
Hey, I've done it before. It's not as bad as you might think.
And I'm sorry.
But no, you take your claim number. You say, "Hey, I have explicit rights to this content, this, and this," and then what can you do for me? And I had to do it on 2 videos back in the day on a channel that had nowhere near enough subscribers for me to be caring about this sort of thing. But they were very, very helpful. It wasn't a pain in the ass to try and get it fixed.
How long ago was it? Like
2 years, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, things have changed since then. So
yeah.
And I'm sorry to divert this from a gaming podcast, but this does affect gaming on the internet in some way, because game developers can, and this happened to Jim Sterlington, if I do believe, back a few years ago. The whole game that sucks ass, and the developer publicly tried to take him down off of YouTube, saying that he was using copyrighted stuff, when really he was using fair use.
Well, and that's... Again, a tale as old as time, right? Is our reviewers doing anything? And I think they are. I think they absolutely are, and that without reviewers, gaming wouldn't be half of what it is today. But there are people on the other side of that who are saying they're just taking what we're doing and putting their label on it. And while I don't agree with that claim, I do understand where it comes from. Because they aren't making any content, they are giving their take on someone else's content, which I do think in itself is its own original thing, but I certainly understand why a lot of people think it's unoriginal.
Yeah.
So, which frankly is why I don't do Let's Plays anymore. It's just I want to make original content, and I'm not saying Let's Plays are unoriginal, but they're certainly not the most original thing out there.
I'm doing a playthrough of Final Fantasy IX right now on my Twitch, so that still counts as a Let's Play, I know, but
I mean, frankly, I don't think it does. That's why
I'm playing it on my Twitch and I'm re-releasing it on my. I'm posting the other stuff back on my YouTube. So does it count?
I say when it goes on YouTube is when it becomes a Let's Play. But if you're just doing it on Twitch, I say that as a stream, which to me isn't the same thing necessarily.
I just put it on YouTube just for sake if anybody missed out or something. Even though I don't really have much of a following, still.
Sure. Well, then it's there, and if down the line you're ever trying to get a job or something, you have all that evidence there. All the practice you've got on camera.
Exactly.
So
overall, YouTube, fix your shit.
Yeah, but
I understand.
Again,
I understand why they haven't really done it, and I understand. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, you're fine. But yeah, YouTube, fix your shit. Obviously, that goes without a doubt. But it's easy to say that until we try and think of if we're going to put our foot down on this issue and say no more YouTube, where do we go now? And the answer is nowhere, because no one rivals YouTube in what they do right now. There is no single online platform that is doing what YouTube does anywhere as effective and as widespread as YouTube is doing it.
Pornhub? I'm kidding.
But they're not.
I'm kidding. Although there are a lot of YouTube videos posted on Pornhub, I'm dead serious. There's Minecraft playthroughs on Pornhub.
No, there absolutely are, but it's not widespread. It's YouTube is, without a doubt, the single king of the anyone can access these videos empire. Which, it's easy to call shit on the 5% of something that someone does wrong when 95% of it goes unseen, and it's going unseen because it's working and we don't have to complain about it. So, I do think they need to fix this, but I don't think it's their most pressing issue, and as a content creator myself, I haven't had many problems with this system. So.
Yeah. Okay. Just if someone wants to bring spread attention to it, like someone like PewDiePie, a Markiplier, or someone with a huge following could talk about this and grab attention for it. Especially PewDiePie.
PewDiePie fascinates me because, frankly, now he has the money and the notoriety to do anything he wants. And while I don't consider myself a fan of PewDiePie, I'm very interested in where he's going to be, because, frankly, 3 years from now, I would be very surprised if he's still doing YouTube, because I don't think he needs to anymore. I'm curious to see, he's starting his own network now, which I think is very, very interesting.
I see maybe he might make a production company out of that, And
Yeah, I think
he
could
just run it while having like doing Let's Plays every once in a while.
Sure, but I mean, he has a fortune now. Like, he could go make a new YouTube, ostensibly. YouTube's now owned by Google, so they obviously have a couple more bucks to throw around than PewDiePie does. But that being said, I want to see PewDiePie take the massive resources he now has excuse me, I can't talk tonight. The massive resources he now has at his disposal to go do something completely new. And that, to me, is what this network sounds like, which I think is interesting. But anyway, we're getting off into the weeds here.
I'm sorry, guys, for talking about YouTube. I just wanted to talk about it because I just sort of remembered, we're talking about YouTubers. Oh, fuck, what about that thing?
Dude, if people have listened this far in, I'm pretty sure they don't care.
Okay, Obama looking at games for new computer science education interactive, White House says.
This is interesting.
Yeah. Obama's looking into more education opportunities for, with computer sciences and just computing in general.
Now, and this is really getting off into the weeds, but as a president who is, as a president who is 10 months away from the end of his final term in office, do you think he's trying to set the stage for the next president to come in and effectively work on a program for this, or do you think he's trying to get this done now?
I think some of the programs, I guess it really depends on what it is. As for this, I think he could just get it over with now.
Okay. Because I think any sort of meaningful legislation or anything like that takes time, and we're getting off onto a political tangent now.
Like politics, etc. podcast.
That would be a great podcast. I would love to do that.
Really?
No, I absolutely would. That'd be great. So I'm curious to see, and this is a very simplistic view, but to me, if I had 10 months left of my first term, I'd just try and tie up all the loose ends I already have, not try and look into new ones. Because at this point, your only fear is not getting impeached for the last 10 months, which you have to really be messing up to get impeached. So I'm curious to see if any sort of legislation comes to incorporate this into schools at all. What'd you say?
Cough, Bill Clinton, cough, cough.
Well, Clinton didn't get impeached.
Oh, I thought he did. Wait, impeachment is getting kicked off, right?
Impeachment, as far as I understand, is the articles for being removed from office, but then you have to actually be removed as well. Clinton stepped down. I don't think there has actually been an active president that's been impeached. As far as I know. Let me see.
Let me think. I think there's been no. I guess not Clinton then.
I apologize.
Nixon. He was about to get impeached, but then he just stepped down from office.
Right. So, impeachment is the grounds to be removed from office, but then you actually have to be removed. I'm trying to remember who it's from.
Just look it up on Wikipedia.
I'm looking at it right now. In 1998, he was impeached for perjury before a grand jury and obstruction of justice during a lawsuit against him, both related to a scandal involving White House employee Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, because I knew that they let him run through the rest of his term.
Well, see, here's the thing. He was impeached, which is the grounds for removal, but he was then acquitted by the U.S. Senate, and he served a complete term of office. So the impeachment is giving grounds for removal, but you have to actually go through the removal process as well. So just because you're impeached doesn't mean you're out of office.
Okay.
And it would appear, according to this, and I should remember this from my government class, but I think the Senate has to vote on getting you kicked out, basically.
Alright, easy in the chat. Just let Obama take a chill, take a nap, bruh. That's all the man needs. I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I just saw an interview with him today, and with him and his wife, for the Super Bowl, out of all things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why, they just... Yeah.
I think, for better or worse, Obama will be remembered for what he wanted to be remembered for, which is healthcare.
Or at least, him trying to pull off Obamacare.
Right. Again, I don't think it will be remembered fondly by a lot of people, and I come from a predominantly Republican background, so I'm a bit jaded there. I wouldn't call myself a Republican, but I definitely see the world through that lens a bit. But I think he will be remembered for what he intended to be remembered for. Maybe not necessarily in the best way, but I think people will remember him for healthcare.
Okay. Games that have aged poorly. Legend of Dragoon, great game. Just hasn't aged as well at all. Neither has Final Fantasy VII, though I love the fuck out of that game. I have not played 7. I was just playing 9 easy, Final Fantasy 9, off of my Twitch channel. Not exactly sure when I'm going to stream it again, but you follow me on Twitter, you'll know when I'm playing that.
I told you I tried playing 7, right?
You did?
Yeah, I played like the first hour, and it... Again, playing the PC version, which, as I'm told, is not the way to play.
Yeah, you do not play the PC version. The soundtrack is ruined.
Right. So I intend to get the remake if and when it comes to PC.
Just buy the game for like... Well, wait, never mind. You don't have a PS4 or Xbox One. Never mind. Or not PS4 or PS3 or whatever.
Yeah.
If you had a PS3, then you could easily buy the game for like $5 or $6 off of the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting the PS3. I don't know.
They're cheaper now, so...
They aren't, though, and that's the thing. I've been looking at them for like 2 years, and they're literally the same price.
Really?
I think they'd be cheaper.
I thought they were stuck at like 150.
No, it's like 200 is the opening model.
Oh.
You'd think they'd be cheaper, and that's what's annoying about it, but they're not.
Lame.
Yeah, it absolutely is, but, whatever.
Going back to Obama's $4 billion plan, I think this is very interesting for it. Do you think I think he may finish this off before he leaves office. My school, believe it or not, actually has a computer science elective, and it's basically coding and stuff. I haven't taken the class, but I know a lot of people who have, and they said it's pretty fun.
Yeah. And
there's this entire section about how internet porn is addictive, which
that is very true.
Well, yes, it is true. But then again, anything is addictive, so...
Yeah, I mean, give it to the right people, and then you won't find anything addictive.
Plastic is addictive.
Plastic is addictive.
I think this is pretty cool, but, yeah. That's all I really got to say about this.
Here's what I don't get, is... If it's a piece of legislation, granted, education is probably one of the easiest types of legislation to get passed because it's hard to take an anti-education stance.
Well, we have to put more money in the army.
Right.
And stopping them drugs.
The last thing we need is more money in the army. Our army's doing just fine.
Yeah.
That said... He's got to get this passed in the next 10 months because he has no idea who is going to come into office, and who will support or reject whatever he might start.
Like, say Trump comes into office, and then you see him immediately ejecting this.
Right. So he has to get this passed in the next 10 months, which is doable.
Yeah.
But it's curious to see him start something this late in the game.
And also, what else? I wonder what else he's doing to set up for the next president, if anything.
He is probably putting as many stink bombs in the office as he possibly can.
Yeah.
If I can't live here, then I'm going to make sure no one else can. Dankster says, Nostalgia, you're back. I am back, Dankster. How are you upon this fine evening?
Oh, it's so dank, man.
Dank internet memes.
Dank internet memes.
What's wrong with his back? Nostalgia, did you hurt your back? I don't know. What's wrong with my back?
Back? What the hell do you mean? Oh, I guess maybe an image that... Let me see.
I don't.
I'm gonna see what the fuck... Thanks, sir, what are you talking about? Oh, I see. I guess these kids right here leaning forward and backward.
Dankster says he's back. He's been gone for a while. I've been streaming here and there. I'm not streaming regularly, apart from the Gaming Etc. podcast every Sunday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Woo!
But yeah, my internet is not really in a place where I can stream frequently, nor is my schedule. But I am working on things. I'm going to have an announcement as far as streaming goes pretty quickly. So.
Okay. Sega's finances. Sega, the
what finances?
Yeah, it's kind of leading towards that, sadly.
Yeah.
Persona 5, I think it's supposed to be developed, or not developed, but released by Sega, which Sega owns Atlas, so there's that. Right. But yeah, Sega isn't exactly doing well. They gotta get a flagship game that will make money, and unfortunately, fucking Sonic seems like their only way. I mean...
Because if there's one thing people liked, it's Sonic Boom.
Yeah, right.
That Sonic franchise is doing real well right now.
Yeah. It's doing as well right now as Sonic... It's not as bad as when Sonic 06 came out, but it's doing pretty bad right now.
Yeah. See, here's my thing, is like, and a lot of people are going to shit on me for this. I don't think we need to be making Mario games anymore. Or Sonic games anymore, and that's not because I think Sonic or Mario are bad. I think they were a relic of when they came out, and we don't need to be doing the same things 30 years later, you know?
Yeah, I see where you're going there, but there's definitely a huge following of people who want to play a Mario game or a Sonic game, and there's Mario Maker now, which people can make their own courses, which could basically withstand a large amount of time. You know?
Yeah, so, like, for me, it's like, make Mario Maker. Put out Mario Maker every, 2 years. Make it a biannual franchise. Or, excuse me, a semi-annual franchise. Would it be biannual or semi-annual?
I think
release it every 2 years. Give it new features.
Let me think. Semi-annual is, like, every half year. Biannual is every 2 years.
So yeah, make it a biannual franchise, release it with new features all the time, and then give me a new IP, It's like, stop trying to sell to me Mario. The reason I don't buy Nintendo stuff is because I know what they're releasing,
The reason why they did Splatoon in the first place is because they needed a new IP.
Right, so do that. And, granted, Splatoon isn't really my thing, but I appreciate when they try something new. So try something new, and I'll, have more interest. I know what Mario is. I'm not a fan of Mario, and therefore I don't buy Mario games. And that's why I don't buy Nintendo products, is because they're just releasing the same IPs over and over.
Well, either that, or they could use some IPs that they haven't used in a while, like Metroid, F-Zero, Earthbound, a.k.a. Mother.
Right.
Which we'll get into Mother later.
Yeah, and again, like, I'm in the minority in this, and I know that for a fact, and that's why I'm not going to try and belabor the point too much. But me personally, they would get more money out of my wallet if they were trying new things. And, I've established I am not a fan of Zelda. I have tried. It's just, I don't dislike it. I appreciate
kind of the same boat as you. I mean, the first game I've played, I don't really like it. Majora's Mask seems way more interesting than Ocarina of Time, for me, at least.
Right. And again, I wasn't really part of that generation, It's like I was too young when Zelda became a thing, like with Ocarina of Time, which by many is considered one of the greatest games of all time. That was a little bit before my time. I was around, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to play this Zelda thing and see what's up. For me, that was Pokemon. I feel like Pokemon happened at the right time and place for me to actually really appreciate it.
Easy saying in the chat, someone just needs to buy a Sega already. Actually, yeah, I guess you're kind of right about that. I mean, here's something that I would like Sega to do. Have someone, like, buy the properties, similar to what they did with the Sega Genesis, buy the properties of, like, the insides of a Sega Saturn or a Sega Dreamcast, and release, like, a sort of compilation system, a game with, like a flash system or whatever, that combines a bunch of games all into one for cheaper. Or for, a cheap amount of money. Sure, it's like a niche crowd, but they would make a lot of money with the Dreamcast one, at least I think. Because the Dreamcast is fondly remembered by everyone who was there.
Yeah, for the most part. It didn't sell very well, but, as it is.
Or they could just re-release a bunch of... I mean, they're already doing a bunch of compilation stuff. Or maybe new IPs for Sega. Or... Fuck... Just, like, do something besides release a Sonic game every year.
Well, that's what I keep coming back to, right? And it's ironic that I'm saying this as the Nostalgianator, because nostalgia is literally in my name. But like, release something new, do something new. You don't have to cram Sonic down my throat for the 20th year in a row. You know, give me something new, and that's okay. And even if you swing and you miss, and I don't care about it, I appreciate you trying.
I was actually surprised that Shenmue 3 wasn't going to be published by Sega.
I mean,
yeah,
frankly, that's not the most surprising thing Sega's done in the last 5 or so years.
Yeah, it's not the most shocking thing, but they the amount of money that Shenmue 3 has made based on Kickstarter,
Right.
They could start remastering or re-releasing Shenmue 1 too. Yeah, I fully agree with that. I would actually love to see that.
Yeah.
Like, when Shenmue 3 is about to come out, like, they could re-release Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 in an HD version, or whatever, and hype for Shenmue 3, although... I hope that Shenmue 3 is I hope Shenmue 3 is being published by Sega, but if not, and I think it's not, so that's why. That's why I said.
Right.
Sega is out of touch. Yeah, I agree.
Someone needs to take Sega out back and shoot them.
Or they could just sell off their assets and then start making pachinko machines like Konami. Except not be such, I don't know, assholes.
I don't know. Don't try and get into the pachinko market now that Konami has it cornered. I feel like that's a bad move.
Although Sega does do pachinkos.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
As far as I'm aware. This is why they need to sell off their IPs to someone else and let them use their IPs. Yeah.
Wumbo, you and I should sell the Gaming Etc. podcast to Google.
They wouldn't make any money.
And move to Japan and start selling pachinko machines.
Maybe.
Just throwing that out there. Might be a good business decision.
Maybe. I don't know.
Also, almost certainly would not be a good business decision, but
Alright, I'm moving on. Moving on to soccer team. A pro soccer team signs FIFA's esports players.
What does that mean?
I think it means that that FIFA is actually having an official esports league, or let me read the article. Top German soccer team Wolfsburg, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, has made a pair of new hires that they have made, but they may not be who you think they guess. The squad has been signed to 2 pro FIFA players who have not played in the actual field, but as a part of the club's efforts to branch out into the world of competitive gaming, as many as doing. So, one of the players being David Byway, that tells BBC that he will wear the Wolfsburg gear and represent the squad as he competes in tournaments both in person and online. So, like an actual soccer team signed an esports player. First question though, why? To just have more attention?
I guess maybe it's good for press. Maybe it's supposed to show real sports and esports coming together.
Yeah, because soccer is certainly popular, or soccer games, video games are certainly popular. That's why EA
especially football in the European market. That's essentially what American football is for us here. So.
Yeah.
In terms of popularity, not in terms of gameplay. I know that European football and American football are 2 very different things.
Yep. But, and obviously the video games are much more popular in Europe than they are in America. Right?
I don't know that to be the case. I'm not a sports guy, but that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I figured it would be so, because, European soccer is much more popular in Europe, so I figured the video games would be much more popular there.
Yeah, sounds believable.
So, Wolfsburg gear and represent the squad as he competes in tournaments both in person and online. It was just something I was going to do at home to start with, just playing with my friends and wanted to be the best out of them. And then all of a sudden I was part of a football club, he said. It looks like by the way, I'm serious, his name. By the way.
By the way, it's spelled literally exactly.
Yeah. By the way, want to move to Germany for his new job, telling the site that he will continue to live in his current home in Wolverhampton, England. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Right now, it's not exactly historic, but in 5 years' time, we'll look back and think, wow, they really started something here. Less than a year, I hope, before the first Premier League team does this as well. Huh. Yeah. It's interesting.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports game guy, so this doesn't really apply to me all that much. But I appreciate what it's doing.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool that an actual soccer team reached out to him, and actually giving him a job just to play video games. I guess to promote them. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I see this as a marketing move.
It is a marketing move, but
which isn't a bad thing either.
No. Alright, it did mention Mother before, but yeah, this is only rumors right now, but Mother 3 is supposed to be getting a US release.
Out damn time.
Yeah, this game, God. I know why they didn't release it in America to begin with, because Earthbound wasn't exactly popular when it came out, and the first Earthbound, Mother 1, was supposed to come out in the NES, but they canceled it at the last minute.
Right.
Due to the Super Nintendo coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. I never played Earthbound or anything, so I don't really know.
Me neither, but for what I've heard, it's amazing.
Yeah, everything I've heard is good, so
But, and of course I played Smash, so,
Yeah.
But for when Mother 3, because that's what it's called in Japan, when it originally came out in Japan, there was this huge fan base who really, really wanted it, and they got a signed petition, and not only that, but like a bunch of art books, just basically every Earthbound fan just went nuts by doing a bunch of arts, music, what else? I don't know, but they sent this huge book of stuff to Nintendo to say, please, please, please release it here. Back when this originally came out, and unfortunately it didn't happen. So a few hackers went into the game, actually got a Japanese copy, and made an American version. And it's out.
Awesome.
It's out for free right now. But they said that they would immediately take it down if if Mother 3 does come out, and
Sure. Now, here's the thing: are they making any money off of it, or is it available for free?
I think it's for free.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware.
Right. So I think that's legal then, technically, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why they haven't taken it down, and that's why Nintendo hasn't really,
So yeah, I think that's cool. It'd be interesting to see if they somehow did it in a way that forced Nintendo to bring Mother 3 to the States. But whether or not that'll actually happen remains to be seen.
But since Earthbound 1, if the original version of Mother 1 has come out in America on the Wii U, alongside
are you asking me or
No. I'm saying that this year at E3 or last year at E3, they announced that Mother 1 came out on the the virtual store, and obviously Earthbound is there, Mother 2.
Right.
So it would make sense. It would be nice to see it on here just for the sake of I actually would like to play some of these games.
Yeah.
For just how weird they are and how different they are compared to other RPGs.
Yeah, definitely.
Update. More sources step forward. Update. We have since confirmed that Nintendo is a real contributor, Liam Nelson, who has posted the following on his Twitter. Emily was the only person who... So basically they're getting more confirmation that this could be true and not just a rumor.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like it to be true.
I like it to be...
You hear so many rumors, you gotta take everything you say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's the internet, so what do you expect? Alright, I'm done. Alright, a few more stories, and then it's only 9. Okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Usually when we reach like the hour 30 mark and we're still talking about news stories, there could be a small problem.
I feel like realistically we could talk about news stories for like 3 hours.
We can. Certainly we can.
Not that we necessarily should, but that we could.
We could. Arkham Knight is not getting a Mac and Linux release.
Big shocker.
Yep, with the entire disaster that was the release of this game on PC, yeah, not shocking whatsoever.
Yep.
Did you play this game on PC?
I did not.
Since I have a Mac, I obviously did not. I still haven't played this game. I still haven't played this game at all.
I played a little bit of Arkham Asylum, which had a terrible PC port.
I have seen you stream it, and you were very pissed off.
I was very pissed off. I was not quite Dead Space level pissed off, but I was certainly working in that direction. Yeah, it was, again, I don't necessarily think it's a bad game. I didn't have fun with it, and I still don't think it's a bad game. I just very much got the feeling it was a bad port.
A bad port because they were just trying to configure all that stuff to keyboards, and it ended up going extremely poorly.
I mean, there's some games that just don't work with the keyboard, and that's okay.
Yeah. I have played Arkham Knight, or not Arkham, I have played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and they're both really good games. I enjoyed both of them a lot. I have not played Arkham Origin, but for what I've heard, it's okay. Just more the same.
It wasn't made by Rocksteady, so you know.
And then, which by the way, the PC port was not done by Rocksteady.
Because they developed it externally, so small wonder that it didn't work when it came out, and still doesn't work, by the way.
Yeah, it still doesn't work.
Well, are we talking about Arkham Knight or Arkham Asylum?
Arkham Knight.
Oh no, Arkham Knight still does not work for PC. In fact, is it still on the store right now?
God, if I know. I'm not going to check my Steam right now because it's bandwidth.
That's fine.
Okay. But yeah, not shocking whatsoever, and I guess I'm glad that they're not going all the way with it, because with Mac, I don't even think you could have the specs for Mac to play this game.
I mean, again, Mac machines work better than Windows machines, so you could ostensibly play this, especially on a Mac Pro, which are so powerful it's obnoxious.
MacBook Pros are not really powerful, though. I know that.
High-end MacBook Pros are.
Yeah, really?
Well, certainly. I mean, they're powerful enough.
I was checking the specs the other day, and it's like, what, 8 gigs of RAM, and that's it? Like, what the fuck?
On the MacBook Pro?
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
I know you can get 16. You might be able to get 32 nowadays.
32? Damn.
But the Mac Pro, which is the garbage can looking one they have, is an obnoxiously powerful machine.
Garbage can one?
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
The Mac Pro? It's also Neil can.
Maybe I've seen it.
Which they're like, you can configure it so it's like upwards of $10,000. Like, it's a very expensive machine.
Goddamn.
But if you get the high-end model, it's like more power than you would ever need.
Let me
Certainly
see.
for anything you and I can do.
People are going to see this one too. Mac Pro. God, built on an epic scale. I have not... What the hell? I have not seen this.
I mean, okay, so I'll read off to you the highest configuration.
I have not seen this. This is new to me.
It is a 12-core processor.
God.
12, not quad, 12.
The fuck?
With 2.7 gigahertz. You can configure it up to 64 gigabytes of RAM with a 1 terabyte flash hard drive. And then 2 AMD Fire Pro, which is essentially like ridiculously powerful GPUs. Each of them have 6 gigabytes of VRAM, and you have 2 of them.
Is this already out?
Yeah, this has been out for quite some time.
Yeah, I was completely unaware of this. It has up to 12 gigs for, VRAM, up to 7 teraflops of computing power. God damn.
It's obnoxiously powerful.
I was unaware of this one.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the highest configuration, you only need, $8,600 before tax, but, I mean, if you're in the professional business and you have money to spare and you want a thing that can render an entire movie for you in 20 minutes, then you're good to go.
Render an entire movie in 20 minutes, yeah.
In fact, with 12 independent cores, it would probably be 2 seconds.
This thing looks impressive.
It's incredibly impressive. Yeah, the problem is just because it's a Mac, the price tag's up there, but it's not. It's worth it if you have the money. It's certainly worth it.
Well, if I had $10,000 to spend, then I would check this out. But
yeah. The MacBook Pro, though, is what we were talking about. I know for a fact you can configure it up to 16 gigs. I don't know about 32.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a quad-core i7 processor. Yeah, apparently it's only up to 16 gigs as far as the RAM goes.
It's apparently $1 bajillion, according to Easy, and a badass piece of machinery. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the Mac Pro, yeah, definitely.
I was unaware of this, but it looks fucking amazing. So.
Well, yeah, because I've been thinking about getting a MacBook Pro for a really long time, and I've been wanting to finance it over 18 months or whatever, because they are expensive machines.
Yes, they are.
I need something. I need something I can video edit on the go with.
You could just get one that's a few years older, like the 2012 or 2013 models.
I could, but the problem is I need more power, and back in the day, the i7s I haven't had in there forever, but I need something with some power to it.
Okay.
Even today's, the GPU on there I don't really like for video editing. It's like a Radeon 370X. So, I really want them to release a new MacBook Pro this year that has updated specs and has Skylake processors and has maybe 32 gigabytes of RAM and all this stuff. But I really want a GTX 960 or 970 in there because that's really what I want. But anyway.
I still need to reinform myself with some computer terminology, but yeah, my computer is a 2011, and it's still capable of streaming, as you can see, but
yeah, that's max for you.
As for specs, though, it's not really that good. So.
And again, you can't compare directly a Mac machine to a Windows machine because they push their hardware way better than a Windows machine does. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right
about that. My PC I built, I guess 3 years ago now, and pretty much everything except the graphics card is still on par with today's standards. The graphics card I can still play most games at high settings with decent frame rates, and I'm not one of these 60 FPS guys. I actually prefer 30 FPS because I think it's more cinematic.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like playing games at 60 FPS. It hurts my eyes. But I probably need to upgrade my graphics card at some point. But because I'm not really gaming much these days, the question becomes: do I really need another gaming PC, or should I get something a little more, tailored to video and things like that? And that's why I'm considering Mac pretty heavily.
Okay. Well, for video editing, yeah, it's really good. As Ryan.
Well, the iMac with the 5K Retina displays.
Jesus Christ, that thing's fucking amazing.
Beautiful.
According to Ryan Kellstrom, it's really good. It's really good.
It's really, really good.
It's really good.
Yep.
I've been kind of behind on Apollo Media, and I'm sorry for that.
Dude, you don't have to apologize for that at all. All the shows that we do aren't designed as you have to watch the last one to get this one. It's there for you when you want it. If you don't want it, you don't have to watch it.
I want to make a funny reference for Collabicast, which, by the way, I found it hilarious that you did the exact same thing for... I've seen the fourth episode, that you did the exact...
for FNAF World.
What? FNAF World?
For FNAF World, or what was the exact same thing?
No, you were saying you were trying to get the NSA...
Oh, yeah, well, see, here's my thing, right, our views have been trending down, which is what we expected would happen, because you launched into a big thing, and then after a few weeks, you see who's actually watching and who isn't. But we figured if we want to add a few views, we can at least get the NSA to watch, so if nothing else. Yeah.
But, you did the exact same thing on here, that's why. So,
my theory is I'll start every podcast I'm on that way. I'm going to be guest starring on podcasts. In fact, next week I was on a talk show that I'll be putting up soon.
Huh?
So do you have those walls that have the designs in them?
Walls? What do you mean?
So in my house,
you mean wallpaper?
The walls we have. It's not really wallpaper, but it's there's little indents in the walls in various shapes.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, there's one behind my monitor that looks like a penis, and I didn't realize it until just now. I was like, oh, look at that. Huh. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with anything.
Well, yeah, I think I'm going to start every podcast I'm ever on that way, regardless of whether or not it's something I'm a regular host on or not. So.
Okay,
anyway.
Let's go back on track.
We are way off into the weeds.
We are way off into the weeds, but I'll just skip the Lego Star Wars one. I haven't read it. This is going to be the last story of the night. Because
Force Awakens, they're making a Lego game.
I've heard about it. It just seems like another Lego game. Honestly, I'm not really too excited.
See, I would say that about almost any Lego game, but when I was a kid, Lego Star Wars was my jam. Like, that game was made for me.
Yeah, I love that game, but you know, I just figured, are they going to have enough content to make? Because the other Lego Star Wars games, they had 3 games into it, or 3 movies into it.
I definitely wish they waited for the trilogy, but I feel like everything is Star Wars right now. Strike while the iron is hot, get everyone to buy this. I think it's more of a marketing move than a fan-based move, but I'll play it nonetheless. It's one of the few games about to come out that I will, without a doubt, buy and play the first week. So.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm kind of excited, but not really. I just see it as another Lego game, if anything.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Alright. Ant Simulator cancelled amidst accusations and conflict reports. Real life ants and still fascinating.
This is really interesting.
Things are relatively certain about Ant Simulator. Its official site is cancelled, and I am sad about that. Things are far less certain than pretty much everything else that's happening regarding Ant Simulator. This is because the creators resignation for the project involved accusations of the business partners that are funding the pay for liquor and restaurants and so on. And now they're responding with
strippers.
I've heard about this story.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is the game that the reason why it's getting canned because strippers.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid business move.
So I'm recalling this from an article I read earlier this week, so I apologize if I'm messing anything up. But as I recall, the lead developer of a game partnered with some people to get it funded, and those business partners essentially spent all of the assets on booze and hookers and vacations. And, maybe not hookers, I apologize. Strippers. Strippers. Didn't mean to say hookers, but there is a difference. But essentially they blew the money on everything you could possibly imagine.
Except for actually making the goddamn game.
Exactly, and then they essentially formed the company in a way where they were considered to be advisors as opposed to employees. So, and I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, mostly because I don't remember most of it, but essentially they formed the company in a way where them spending the assets screwed over the developer, but not themselves. So the developer was essentially forced for his image to quit contact on the game and leave the company, and the other people got away scot-free. So.
Oh, that sucks.
Which is very sad.
Yeah, they
it's you hear those business horror stories after a while, or every now and again, rather, and it's sad to see. But business is tough, so you gotta have your wits about you.
Ugh. Yeah, that really does suck. And this game does look interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. So, really wish it could, could have seen what it could have been. But the backstory of why it got canceled seems a little bit more interesting than the game itself.
No, definitely. And which I really doubt, but if somehow in some way this game eventually came out, I think it will get way more attention now because of this story coming out than it would have otherwise. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of having a case of like oversaturation with simulator games. Like, I feel like we can kind of just tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, that's definitely a topic that we could talk about on a later episode. But yeah, there is definitely an oversaturation of it, and people are obviously, having parody games like Goat Simulator or Mall Shopping Simulator, so on and so forth, where it's taking the word simulator and actually not being an actual simulator.
Or Truck Simulator. Or
rock petting simulator.
I almost said turbo. Yeah, and I said turbo dismount. That's not
that kind of counts, but not really.
Yeah. Freaking. I can't. Euro Truck Simulator, I guess.
Surgeon Simulator.
Why am I thinking of trucks? There's so many other ones.
Surgeon Simulator.
Surgeon Simulator, Super Squat Simulator. It's just all these fucking games. It's ridiculous.
Just go on Steam Greenlight. You'll probably find a bunch of them.
Well, and that happens, 1 or 2 games, Cough Surgeon Simulator, become really, really popular, and then everyone suddenly wants to, fight over each other to get 5 minutes in the limelight. And that's business. That's how it always happens. It's probably how it always will happen. But as a fan of gaming and someone who's not in the industry, that I'm still entitled to say I'm sick of it. So.
Yeah. I'm not really sick of it, but I'm not really that into simulators to begin with, so... But again, we can talk about this in a later episode.
That sounds like a very good plan.
Simulator, what? What?
Simulator.
Say that 3 times fast.
Simulator. Simulating simulator. Simulating simulator. I think I stumbled on the third one.
Wait, where's OBS? I just closed it without... Yeah, that was stupid.
Are we still streaming?
No, we're still streaming, just close... Whenever I close something, there's like a little white box on the side, so...
Got it.
Yeah. Alright, better get the video ready.
Tell me, did you sail across the sun? I've been listening to that song off and on all day.
Really? Out of all things.
It's a great song. Fun fact, and Ryan Kellstrom will probably tell you it's one of the many reasons he wants to murder me. But when in the 2 weeks leading up to Apollo, we had to spend a lot of time together, the 4 of us, 5 of us, I guess, if we count TJ. And we listened to that song probably 400 times. So, yeah. If you say the word Drops of Jupiter around any one of them, they'll probably have a nervous breakdown.
If I ever go to Spokane, Washington, and help you out with, or, meet up with you guys, I'll just say that up to Ryan.
It's like, hey guys, how do you like Drops of Jupiter? And I'll probably get a shit-eating grin on my face, and they'll probably have some sort of nervousness. So tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it? Sorry. Alright, so we were watching a video.
Yes, we better get the no. There we go, game cap. Alright, so today's topic of the night is games that haven't exactly aged well. And if you could kind of tell by the logo... Okay, let me clarify before I even say anything. These games aren't bad, by any means. Just that they have aged poorly. Opinions are opinions, guys. Don't get pissed off. Don't send us angry letters. Say that we're faggots or anything like that. It's the internet. And yes, this is GoldenEye, and this is going to piss off a lot of people.
Also, Half-Life, shitty game. Don't like it.
we'll get to Half-Life when we get to it, but...
Yeah.
Alright, I'm about to play it.
I am ready when you are, my dear Wumbo.
Playing it right now.
Woo.
I gotta turn down the volume just a little bit. But, like I said, again, I think this game is a good game. I still think this is a pretty good game, just, it's aged. And obviously I wasn't... I'm turning the volume even more, Jesus. I wasn't there at the time when this game came out, so, I didn't fall into the hype, I guess.
Yeah. And things are a product of their time, and that's okay.
Yeah, this game is a product of its time. I was like one when it came out, so... Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, GoldenEye is revolutionary. I don't think anyone would argue that. But there's something to be said for a generational gap, and you and I, me a little bit more than you, but I wasn't into GoldenEye at all. And, that wasn't our generation, and that's okay.
No, but people who weren't there can look back and, see, oh, this was popular at the time, and why was it popular? Sure. And I guess the same thing can be said for, freaking Call of Duty. Eventually, when the next generation of gaming comes out, people who are unfamiliar with Call of Duty and such. Why was this popular? And for this game, it was obviously popular for its multiplayer and its single player, the graphics, and even to an extent the controls. And here's the thing: what's aged most poorly about these games is, this game is the graphics and the controls. Not as bad as another game that I'm going to show off, but it certainly has aged. Nostal, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you cut out.
There you go. I'm just listening.
For me, it took me a little while, especially in this gameplay, because I was playing it today. The controls, it took me a little while to get used to. It's still definitely playable by any means. And, karate chop action.
Wacha!
Wacha! It seems like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of difficult to tell what you have to do, and some of the maps seem a little bit convoluted.
Okay.
The presentation is certainly nice. The story is based off the movie, which I haven't seen, but going to more gameplay. Aiming is a little bit difficult, and it takes a little while to get used to. You do have an aiming reticle if you hit one of the top right buttons, but it's kind of difficult to use, especially with a sniper rifle. Dear God, that's a nightmare.
Was this game released or re-released for the original Xbox?
I'm not sure, but I know it was re-released for other systems as like a special edition, like, because James Bond money.
Okay, because I didn't think I did, but now that I actually think about it, I might have played this on Xbox.
Maybe you played like one of the, because I know they made a bunch of other first-person shooter James Bond games for, besides the Nintendo 64.
So this is just called GoldenEye, that's what's
called? GoldenEye 007. Made by Rareware. Ho ho ho, hee hee hee.
Hee hee ha ha ha. Product placement, music, release and reception, appearances in other media.
Just, so, for what I'm getting to, like I said, what's aged most poorly is controls and the graphics, if anything. I've actually played this game multiplayer. It's fine for what it is, but it does get old after a while. I do understand why multiplayer did get popular, because this was one of the first games that could really do that, 4-player simultaneous multiplayer for a shooter.
Yeah, that's a lot of processing power.
This was the game that made that popular.
Which is impressive, yeah.
GoldenEye was remade on the Wii, then that game was re-released on the PS3 and the 360. Okay, thank you, Easy. I didn't know that.
You guys lost a viewer when you said GoldenEye. What's CTFU? What does that mean? What does CTFU mean?
I don't know. But we lost a viewer because someone said gold. Okay, again, we weren't... Opinions are opinions.
Also, we said Half-Life sucks in quick succession, so it's hard to say which of the two comments.
And then Tomb Raider, at least the original, sucks. So
the reboot, they're doing the reboot series nicely. I'm a big fan.
They are, but again, in 30 minutes we'll start talking about that. So, have you ever had any experience with this game at all?
Well, see, here's the thing. I played a GoldenEye game. Hang on.
You're still trying to find it. Believe it or not, the first-person shooter GoldenEye game that I played was... Or not GoldenEye. James Bond game that I played was not GoldenEye. It was a first-person shooter for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't fucking... It's impressive for what it is, but...
Sure.
Yeah. CTFU, cracking the fuck up.
Got it.
Thank you, Easy.
Okay. I am so... Wait, hang on.
You're still trying to find it?
Hang on. Hold your horses, Wumbo.
I don't have any horses.
Hold the horses.
What horses? I'm not that rich.
Oh. GoldenEye Rogue Agent, the original Xbox, came out in the year... Hang on. I'm searching Google.
I'm just going to continue for talking about GoldenEye. Movement
2004. Came out in the year 2004. And I played it for the original Xbox.
Okay. Moving around seems a little bit... I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I kind of felt a little bit of motion sickness from just walking around.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know why, just... Maybe it's just I haven't played a first-person shooter in a little while. Or actually, I take that back, Fallout. Movement is just a little bit clunky, or at least that's how I feel. You can move the camera around with the C buttons, which is nice and definitely useful.
Okay.
What else? Camera controls isn't a problem. Gameplay, like I said, it's sometimes it's kind of difficult to tell what the objective is, but it's not that bad. Not as bad
Real quick.
as... Yeah.
Don't want to interrupt you, but I just did, and for that I apologize.
It's fine.
Real quick, there are some people lurking in the chat that I want to put on blast here for a second. Hey, Kate_91, good to see you again. We're longtime friends. Old Head Tech and Unicbot are all sitting in the chat, but they're not saying very much, and we love talking to you guys. So if you want to say some things, we would love to speak with you.
Because I've noticed them for a little while in the viewers list. They haven't said anything.
Yeah, so we're here, guys. We're friendly. We don't bite. It's okay. Anyway, I apologize, Wumbo. Continue talking about what is
But have you played like I just died by jumping off of a ladder, and the guy just
happens to the best of us.
Have you ever played Perfect Dark or Perfect Dark Zero?
No, but I know the name.
Yeah, that's sort of the spiritual successor of GoldenEye, which I have not played, but supposedly they improved some things.
Okay.
They're shy, lol. Yeah. Well, okay.
So, I have a question for you, Wumbo.
Yeah?
When I talk like this, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm sitting back in my chair and holding my mic like a radio host now.
Yes, now we're talking about GoldenEye, see? Oh, yeah, that's the mobster. I'm trying to think of a Casey Kasem voice, but... You know who that is, right?
No, I do not.
Famous DJ? Radio host?
I will take
Beat a dog?
He beat a dog?
At least I think that's, There's a famous audio...
He beat a dog?
There's a famous clip, at least I think he beat a dog. I'm not exactly sure, where he says, "It's the last time I'm going to be talking about a motherfucking dog."
That's horrifying.
I'm not sure if he actually beat a dog or not, but...
That's not good. You're not supposed to beat dogs, Wumbo.
At least I think that's where it's from. I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not.
This just in, Wumbo beats dogs.
I have a dog.
That doesn't mean you don't beat him. That's probably the dog you beat. It all makes sense now.
Fuck you. No, I love my dog.
That's not how this works? Okay.
I love my dog.
Does your dog like Drops of Jupiter?
I don't think... Actually, I think... My dog's about that old. No.
Okay.
I think my dog's old enough to know that song.
Okay. Lots of good questions being asked here.
Yeah. Okay, to be honest, I don't really have much to say after this, but I do have a lot more to say about Tomb Raider.
So here's my thing.
I'm sorry.
It tells you... No, you're good. It says picked up some ammo. I would appreciate it to tell me how many rounds I picked up when I'm playing GoldenEye, because I don't have time to do math.
15. Like half of a,
But all the time, it adds it to your bullet count on the bottom right, but on the left, it's like, hey, you picked up some ammo. Like, tell me how much I'm picking up. How hard could it possibly be to say, hey, picked up 15 rounds? Are you really telling me the M64?
It took them millions of dollars just to do that.
Are you really telling me the
millions
M64...
of dollars, Nostal.
I refuse to believe that the N64 didn't have enough processing power to add the words 15 rounds to the bottom of the screen. I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, I only have 5 minutes left in this thing. I'm going to be skipping it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, okay, I'm actually going to skip it to where I had no idea what the fuck to do. I didn't know I still don't know what to do right here. It's been a while since I played this game, so...
Now, I'm not exactly a scientist when it comes to first-person shooters, but my guess would be kill all the guys in the area till you can hit a button, till you can move on to the next area.
I was looking for that button, or at least someone to find, but I couldn't do it. Apparently I was supposed to throw this little hacking device on a computer, except I threw it down on accident. I was trying to pick it back up, and I couldn't do it. So...
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Well, what do you expect? The game is a broken mess of a game.
It's not... God, no.
It's not?
Wait, what? What's a broken mess of a game?
I said, well, what do you expect? It doesn't work. It's a broken mess of a game, but I was saying that sarcastically.
Yeah. Okay, we're now on to Half-Life. I have never played the original.
So I played about the first third. I did it in one sitting, and I did it on a stream, and after... if we assume a third is 33% of a game, after what was probably about the first 20% of the game, I got ridiculously stuck, and literally right then, a professional speedrunner for the game was watching the stream. So he started helping me out and giving me a bunch of tips to make the game a little easier. That said, I had very high hopes going into Half-Life. I had played about the first half of Half-Life 2 before touching Half-Life at all. It was just I was at a friend's one time and I just played it on her computer and I thought it was fun, but I didn't take it that seriously. And so going into this, obviously Half-Life 2, one of considered by many publications to be the greatest game ever made. And And obviously, Half-Life 3 is probably the most anticipated game of all time.
Which isn't gonna come out, sadly.
It absolutely will. I'd say within the next 5 years. Well, and we've talked about this ad nauseum before, so I don't want to hit a dead horse. Because horses are dead and you should give them peace, because Wumbo didn't hold them. But anyway, regardless, going into this, it's Half-Life. Half-Life has a very long history and a very loyal fan base, and I had very high expectations for what this game should be. And that may have made me a bit jaded, because I was expecting more, as opposed to, it coming out in 1998 and people just treating it for what it was. But I didn't like it at all. The graphics, I'm playing it at max, but I'm willing to let that slide for a 1998 game. It was a product of its time, and the technology speaks to that, and that's okay. I don't need a Crysis 3 game that came out in 1998, and that's all right. But I don't really know what it was. I'm not sure why. It just didn't click with me. It felt like I was playing it as a chore, and I was supposed to stream it the next 2 nights after I streamed it, and I ended up streaming other games. Part of it had to do with the fact that my save file got wiped, and I loaded it up, and it was nowhere to be found.
That really sucks.
Really sucks. So I don't know if I'll ever go back and play it. I played the first 20 minutes to get the gameplay for it today. And I was like, it doesn't feel fun. And I don't know how else to say that. The controls are fine. It plays, in terms of controls, pretty much like every other PC game that's ever came out. It feels, in terms of movement, like everything is an ice level in Mario. Like, you slide everywhere, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that at all. I mean, you literally slide everywhere.
Really?
I mean, like, walking out of a door... There's a part, I don't think I actually kept it in the gameplay, or rather, the video that you're seeing, but there was a part I had to play today at the beginning where you walk out of a door onto about a 2 feet wide ledge above a tank of water. And
really?
I have to literally walk step by step, like tapping W occasionally and then turning left, because if you walk out at a normal pace outside, you'll slide right off into the water.
Actually, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. That reminds me, I forgot to mention this, but about GoldenEye, but sometimes, and it mentions, it goes to the frame rate, sometimes you move super fast and sometimes you move very slowly, and that's because of the frame rate.
Yeah, and that may be the case, but I mean... It's literally all the time, and I mean, it is all the time. It feels like you're moving at 200% speed and everything's made of ice.
Ugh.
And I've thrown around that phrase, appropriately enough, a ton of times tonight, but it is a product of its time, right? The physics were not what they are today in games that came out in 1998, and that's okay.
Especially since its sequel pretty much made a physics engine that it's still being used today, the Source engine.
Right, and... It's hard for me to say it's a bad game, and therefore I won't call Half-Life a bad game, even though I'm pretty sure I did it earlier. But it's hard for me to look at this, a game that hasn't particularly aged well, both in terms of graphics and in terms of
hey, there's G-Man.
Gameplay. There's G-Man. And I think that's technically an Easter egg. I happened to catch it in passing on my very first playthrough, and then so I made a point to do it this time for the camera. But I think seeing him on that train over there is just like a little Easter egg for people.
By the way, which version are you playing? The Source version or the original version?
Source is the remake version?
Yes.
I'm playing the original.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted, especially since we're talking about games that aged poorly, I wanted it to play the game as it came out, so people could see how it is aged.
Yeah.
The remade version is technically called Black Mesa.
No. There's a Half-Life Source version off of
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Steam right now. And yeah, I know about Black Mesa. I'm aware about that.
Wait, so what's Source?
I have no... Just look it up on Steam right now.
Is it just called Half-Life Source?
Yeah, it is called Half-Life Source.
I thought that was DLC.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I just saw it on Steam once.
I know that.
Okay. Well, if Final Fantasy VII Remake can come out, so can Half-Life 3. Well, get announced. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. But hey, there's supposed to be some big thing that's going to go off easy in about a month or two. Square's supposed to be doing this big convention that's announcing stuff. So
including Final Fantasy 15 release date.
The release date for Final Fantasy 15, possibly Final Fantasy 7 stuff, Kingdom Hearts stuff, most likely, and all their other IPs.
And it is being hosted by none other than Greg Miller and Tim Geddes of youtube.com/kindafunny, which I'm a very big fan of.
Kind of Funny Games, you mean?
I mean, yeah, Kinda Funny's the parent channel, but yeah, they're from Kinda Funny Games as well.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard about them and never really seen them.
Big fan. They're probably my favorite YouTubers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I appreciate what the game did for the genre. I know everybody likes Half-Life, and therefore I'm in the minority for this, and that's fine. But I didn't enjoy it, and I don't know if I'll ever go back to it, frankly, because, one, I lost my save file, and that always makes you a little mad when you're playing a game.
Yeah.
But I didn't have fun, and if I put a good 4 hours into the game, and if in 4 hours you haven't done something to make me feel like I'm enjoying myself, I don't feel obligated to play the next 8 hours, you know? I'll give a game a chance, and there's something to be said for a game getting better as it goes on, because that's true, and there's a lot of games I really ended up liking that I didn't like when I first started playing it, and that's, you gotta give things a chance. But, I didn't have any fun with this game, and I'm not, 2 or 3 years ago I would have said I'm gonna bite my teeth and, just grind it out, I'm gonna beat this thing because I want to make sure that I beat it. But I don't really do that anymore. If a game doesn't catch my attention in the first 3 or 4 hours, I'm just not going to finish it, and I don't feel bad about that.
Unless you're being paid or paid to review it or something,
Sure, yeah. Which I'm not a reviewer, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. But yeah, if it was my job, that's one thing. But I'm not going to be up a game's ass again, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not going to force myself to play it if I'm not having fun. In this game, I wasn't having fun with, so.
I have played all of I haven't played episode 1 or episode 2, but I have played through Half-Life 2.
Okay.
And it was a little bit I haven't played Half-Life 1. At the time I didn't really know the story of Half-Life 1.
Sure.
So it was kind of strange for me, but it was definitely interesting to play. I didn't know what G-Man was. I didn't know I at least knew who Gordon Freeman was and all the facehuggers and stuff. Right. I was impressed for what it was, and how it. I'm sorry. What it did at the time and the graphics for the time are great. The physics engine is extremely amazing for what it is. Although obviously there has been stuff that's come out that's greater than the source engine. Definitely. Still.
Well, I mean, the Fox engine we saw with Metal Gear is just... It was a brand new engine. It's this powerhouse. And that's just one example of what we've seen hardware can do nowadays, and it's incredibly impressive. But I think there's something to be said. It's just an iconic franchise, Having not played Half-Life, I can jump into this. I know about Gordon Freeman. I know about G-Man. I know about the head crabs. There's all these things that, not even being into Half-Life, I'm able to recognize and identify as things that are, prominent figures in pop culture. So I appreciate what the game does. It obviously has a cult following, and there's a massive amount of people behind it. And I know I'm in the minority when I say I don't enjoy it, and I think part of that is because of the generation I'm a part of, and the fact that I didn't play this game when it came out. And, it's like in 10 years from now, people aren't going to care about the Phantom Pain, and that's fine. But I just didn't enjoy it. I wasn't having fun with it, and it's not my job to see a game through to completion. I'm a huge advocate of the industry, and I really appreciate that people took years of their lives to make something like this. But it's not my job to play it. If it's not my job to play it, then your job is to entertain me while I'm playing it, and I wasn't entertained, so.
Yeah. I'm sorry, somebody came up with my phone. Remember when I mentioned the helpful Honda guy helped me? With my mom's grocery? I said it on Twitter. Apparently the actor who's in those commercials actually liked my tweet saying the Helpful Honda team actually helped me with me and my mom's groceries.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, while putting him in the car while there's this freaking rainstorm going off.
No, it's super cool.
That was super cool. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Catching up on the chat real quick. Easy says my favorites as well. 12 out of 20, never forget. Yeah, that's actually how I met Easy, is Greg Miller of youtube.com/kindafunny.
What's 1220?
So, Greg Miller of Kinda Funny, he's hosting the Square Enix thing. He was doing a Drunk Witcher 3 stream, and I had a sociology quiz due at midnight that I didn't want to take. So I asked him in the chat as a joke, hey, you feel like taking my sociology quiz for me? And he did, in front of 1,200 people. So I got 12 out of 20 on the test, and I made 10, 15 friends that night that I still talk to now. Easy is one of them. That's how Easy and I met. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a great night. So I love that community over there.
That's Persian, bro. You should be. What?
So he's when I said I don't want to be up against ass and it's his job to entertain me, he said that's your fault. You don't have to play a game.
Okay. I'm sorry. I forgot that.
No, you're good, man. No worries. Yeah, and again, like 3 or 4 years ago, I had nothing going on, and I mean nothing. I would wake up
videos. What is that?
What'd you say? Oh yeah, exactly. Like I met someone this week, and been talking to her a lot recently, and I feel so bad, but every single time I'm talking to her, it's like, sorry, I'm getting back to your message late. Sorry, I'm getting back to your message late. And she's like, oh, you're a busy guy all the time. And I'm like, yeah, you should have seen me 3 years ago because I had nothing going on. I'd wake up at noon and go to bed at 8 p.m. because sleep for 16 hours, and who cares? You're not hurting anything. But back then, I would have said, sure, I may not be having fun with this game, but I'm going to finish it because maybe it'll get better. And I don't have the luxury of doing that anymore. So if a game doesn't entertain me early on, and I want to give it a chance, my conscience is clear with Half-Life. If I put 20 minutes in and I didn't like it, that's one thing. But I played a significant portion of this game. And when you've invested 4 hours into something and another couple hours trying to get your save file back, I don't feel like I owe this game any more than I've already given it. So,
yeah.
That said, it's also burning a $35 hole in my Steam library. So.
Wait, $35? What?
Because I bought Half-Life and then I bought Half-Life.
Oh, you bought everything.
I bought the DLC. Yeah.
You bought all the things.
Well, because that's my problem. That's why I have all the Arkham games, and that's why I have the Final Fantasies. And,
why couldn't you just wait until it was on sale?
Well, I did. I did get it on sale, but I got both games and the DLC and all that.
Okay, all right.
But that was my problem, and I was a lot worse at this 1.5 years ago than I am now, because now I save all my money just relentlessly. But it's like, oh, Half-Life, everyone likes that game. I know I have to play that, so I'll just buy it all now.
That was kind of the reason why I got Half-Life 2, but I only just got Half-Life 2 because it was $2.50,
right.
So...
I may just read a story synopsis to Half-Life 1 and jump into Half-Life 2, because again, I played about the first half of that, and I actually really enjoyed that game.
I recommend doing that if you haven't played Half-Life 1, but you want to just jump into Half-Life 2.
Well, and Half-Life 2 is legendary among gamers.
It is legendary.
Yeah.
You should enjoy your time playing it at least in some way. This game should have interested you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should have.
I don't. That's the point
of it for me. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, that's kind of the point of games to begin with, just to entertain you, you know.
Right, unless I'm working for IGN. Sorry. No, I was gonna finish. That wasn't a diss. I was gonna say, unless I'm working for IGN and it's my job to review these games, then I should be playing games for fun.
Yeah, I understand. All right, there's a huge explosion, and where's the head crabs?
They're there. They'll be there.
They'll be there.
I wanted to cut it at a point where if people were interested, they could go and play it, and I wouldn't have spoiled anything. So you won't actually see any combat, but the realities break down and everything starts to go a little bit crazy. So, but yeah, I want to play Half-Life 3 when it inevitably comes out, and I want to be excited when it does. So I do want to tackle the Half-Life series at some point, but I'm not going to play a game just for the sake of playing it. If I'm playing a game, I want to have fun. So,
yeah. Or unless you were trying to play an intentionally bad game like Superman 64 or something, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, which I own a copy of for some dumb reason. Ugh.
You never know. Might be fun.
No, it's not fun. That game is not fun.
That was a joke.
Yeah. And speaking of games that aren't really fun anymore, Tomb Raider, everyone.
Tomb Raider.
Again, not this on anyone, but I don't like this game. I do see why it was revolutionary for its time, you know. It was a full 3D game in 1996 and such, and oh my god, Laura's boobs, oh my god, but, like, I'm sorry, I don't like the original version of Tomb Raider.
So, Wumbo, I think you're completely entitled to your opinion, but her name is Lara, as in Lara.
Laura? Lara?
Lara, not Laura. Laura is L-O-R-A. It's L-A-R.
Sorry, I've been pronouncing it as... It's been kind of potato with me for that name.
It's okay. About 95% of people are in the same boat as you.
Really? Oh, okay. I'm fine.
It is Lara Croft, not
Laura Croft.
Lara
Croft. All right. I have not played the reboot series, but for what I've heard, it looks pretty good.
Very good, very beautiful, very fun.
Here's the thing, though. Around the time when I played this, I also played a little game called Uncharted 2.
Never heard of it.
And I pretty much stuck to Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 1, and yeah.
I will say Nate is one of my favorite video game protagonists.
I love Sully.
Yeah. Sully's awesome.
Yeah, Sully's awesome. I've not played Uncharted 3, though. Is it good?
Don't know. Haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
I was just getting disappointed at you because it's fun to make you feel like, Wumbo, why haven't you done that? Wait a minute, have you done that? No, not at all. It's just fun to do that. Wow, look at that laptop Lara has here. That is something
I
special.
know. That's definitely some sort of laptop.
Welcome to 1996's Sony Dial.
Tomb Raider was my shit, lol. It's okay. I mean, I've played Tomb Raider 1, I've also played Tomb Raider The Last Revelation on the Dreamcast. And I don't like that game either. Look, the original...
Small wonder that they named it The Last Revelation and 19 Tomb Raiders have come out since then.
Yeah, it was like the fourth one.
Yeah.
Uncharted 3 is good. It doesn't have the leap in improvement that Uncharted 2 had over Uncharted 1. Okay. Because playing Uncharted 2 for the very first time, I was extremely impressed by the graphics and the gameplay, and sometimes, all the numerous little puzzles that are in there. And I really like the story and the characters in there, too. For this game, there really isn't that much... In this game, there really isn't that... Obviously, it's not comparable. It's kind of unfair, to compare this game to a game that came out in 2009. But,
Well, what's fascinating is the back and forth we've seen, right? Is Tomb Raider... I
am the Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider obviously came first, and Uncharted is, admittedly and obviously directly influenced by Tomb Raider. And Uncharted was incredibly popular when it came out, and now we see the Tomb Raider reboot has been heavily influenced by Uncharted.
Exactly.
So I think that's something to be said. It kind of comes full circle in a lot of ways, but I think that's okay, and I think that's kind of the industry.
Yeah. Let me think. There's been, not counting the 2 reboot games, 8 original series games, right?
Maybe? I'm not sure.
All I know is that Angel of Darkness was the 6th one, and that game's a piece of shit.
Okay.
And what ruined the series for a very long time.
Sounds good.
How are you liking these early, or mid-90s CGI cutscenes?
They are not as bad as I thought they would be.
They're not that bad, but... Once we actually
it looks like it was made in a low-budget source filmmaker movie.
Except source filmmaker wasn't even out yet, so...
I will say I am absolutely in love with Camilla Luddington's representation of Lara. I'm head over heels. I'm in love with that character. So.
You mean the voice actress for... The original voice actress for Laura?
Well, I am in love with the reboot Lara, particularly with how the voice actress has brought her to life.
Okay, because like I said, haven't played the reboot, so I don't know.
No, you'll like her. She's awesome.
Okay. Here's me trying to get used to the controls. Dear God, the controls are the biggest turnoff for me for this game. They're so fucking stiff. They're so precise. And especially for jumping, it's... And obviously this is an early 3D game, and
sure, they
kind of kept with the style throughout some of the other games, which I understand. It's what made the game popular. Mm-hmm. And also the graphics. I can't really vouch for the time to say if they're good or not, but obviously they were revolutionary for the time because 3D game. Oh my god. What else?
So here's my question. Why is she in a tank top and shorts when it's clearly freezing out?
I don't know. I mentioned the exact same thing in my Final Fantasy IX stream when I asked why are they not wearing coats in the ice cavern.
Or maybe not even coats. I understand. Coats are bulky. I don't like wearing coats either. Maybe just wear a long-sleeve shirt. Perhaps pants. it looks like she stocked up at Victoria's Secret before she went on her splunking mission. So I'm
She was wearing like some big poncho that was very, was obviously not covering her up. So why couldn't she just get like a poncho or some sort of coat or something that worked?
I guess it was a Mexican Victoria's Secret. I don't know. I can't speak towards the Mexican market.
Mexican Victoria's Secret. Yeah, Easy says, I've always hated the tank controls. Yeah, the tank controls, yeah, I can't get used to them. In Resident Evil, same thing, really. Tank controls have aged pretty badly. Unless you're actually playing a tank game.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like stuff like Surgeon Simulator that purposefully has incredibly obtuse controls. So I feel like sometimes it works depending on the type of game.
Yeah. Shooting stuff is a little bit difficult. The camera, oh my god, the camera. You can't control it. There's no way you can control it.
You don't have a right thumbstick?
No, well, this is a 1996 game. The DualShock 2 controller was not released then. You have to use the D-pad to play this game.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grabbing on ledges, it took me a little while to figure... Just the controls in general took me a little while to figure out what to do. And I don't show it off because this is the first mission. This is just getting the point A to point B. But later down the line, there are certain puzzles and stuff that you have to figure out what to do. It is very, very, very difficult to figure out what to do. At least for me. Yeah.
But, I don't say this to be mean to you, but we are in that, new age millennials that were born on the back end in the 1990s, and we weren't who this was targeted at. The people that this came out for, they were used to this sort of thing. So I feel like the fact that, I probably would pick this game up and have a very similar reaction to what you did, I feel like that's because of when we were born, largely. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a problem with the game necessarily.
It's just catering to a certain market at the time, and it's not exactly... And since it's kind of aged poorly, at least I think, then it's not exactly, aiding to our tastes. Catering to us. But still, Tomb Raider still popular. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. The fact that a Tomb Raider game came out last year, just a couple months ago, and all these years later, and is still incredibly popular, is a testament to how well the series has held up. Even if the original installment, graphically and gameplay-wise, hasn't held up, this series is still relevant today, which not many series can still say.
Exactly. Wumbo is... shut up. Hey, dude, I find at least 2 health packs in this level, if that makes you feel any better.
That's a lot of health packs.
Aiming, God, even aiming is kind of difficult. It automatically aims for you if you are right in front of it or to the side of it, and you can sidestep. But I just find it, and there is a button where you could look around and use the camera just to look around, but not move while you use the camera or while using the camera.
Gotcha. So
it's kind of difficult. This is me. This is me trying to figure out what this skeleton thingy,
Skellington. Jack Skellington.
It does nothing, so what's the point?
It looks pretty.
I was supposed to drop... I don't know, man. I haven't played this game that much.
He's figuring it out. He's cut off some slack. I'm just kidding. Easy on a completely unrelated note, my dear mother bought me some Beats headphones for Christmas, and I'm not a big fan of Beats, but I'm trying them to see if I like them. And they are so tight on my ears, I can say with no exaggeration, I am literally getting a headache right now.
I am very glad I didn't get those.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Beats because I think they're incredibly overpriced and do the same job that comparable headphones of a much lower price can do. I feel like they're good at marketing, not good at making headphones. But, whatever. It was a gift, so... they're the Solo 2, I want to say, Easy, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Beats Solo 2. Royal Edition, Sapphire Blue. I rest my case. I apologize, Wumbo. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. What was I going? I kind of lost my train of thought. Like I said before, the objective, trying to figure out some of the puzzles is a little bit difficult. Obviously, it's not straightforward, and that's good, but, it's good to have a challenge, just, it's hard to figure out where to go, and especially when we go to, I forget what level it is, but it's like there's a swimming level, and the swimming controls are complete shit.
Mm.
And here's me trying to make this jump, and I almost make it, I think. Let me see. Do I make it? Do I make it? Jump, child! Nope. And then a bear attacks me.
Ooh, bears are ugly.
Well, this bear does look ugly. Everything looks blocky in this game. And not blocky like in Minecraft, blocky as in polygons.
Probably because it came out in 1996.
Yes. It doesn't hold your hand at all. Yes, I figured that out. Nah, you get owned by the bear. Shut up.
Do you? Did you get owned by the bear?
No, I killed the bear.
Is that purple thing a bear?
Purple thing? No, you'll see.
Oh, I see the bear. Okay, there was like a purple crystal over the ravine.
That's a save area, but I'm not gonna.
Holy shit, this bear looks like a dog. Looks like a large dog.
I'm still It's still making the package and with beats. Oh, you're talking about beats.
Yeah, I
Shut
use
up.
Sennheiser HD 558s when I'm editing, but for right now I wanted to have these on. I'm trying to get used to them, and I'm not really liking them.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to the headphones I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
I
had these $15 Sony crappy ones for like the last 4 years, and I loved them, and then they finally croaked on me. So
I'm wearing a Bluetooth headset from Sony that has a very shitty microphone, so that's why I'm using a Blue Snowball right now.
Woo!
Really though, that's about it. Obviously though, the series is still going on strong, and hopefully Rise of the Tomb Raider I could have a chance to play on the PS4 or Mac or whatever.
It will absolutely come to PS4. I doubt it will.
Yeah, it's a timed exclusive.
I would say probably winter of this year.
Optic Ninja in the chat.
How's it going, Optic? Thanks for being here, buddy.
I want to go into audio technicians. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at the AT50X, I want to say it's called. But we're looking to get those for our producers right now.
Need to get the monies, man.
We do need to get the monies.
Small
wonder that a 157 subscribers YouTube channel hasn't made a profit yet.
I'm sorry.
What?
Well, I mean, I've been advertising this. I've been advertising Apollo Media in the description and at the end of these videos, but.
No, you're good, man. Dude, it's totally not your job at all. We're like, still, any tiny bit of exposure we get, we're very thankful for.
Porn sites. Okay. Apollo Media on Pornhub.
No such thing as bad press. So long as we're not officially posting stuff on Pornhub, that's okay.
Well, but what if, like, some people re-release your stuff on Pornhub? Which they do that, like I said, for Minecraft videos. Like the Yogscast on Pornhub.
So that's the thing. If people are making money off of it, then we have to step in. But so long as no one that's officially related to our company is releasing this stuff on Pornhub, because that would indicate we're endorsing Pornhub as a company. So long as that's not happening, it's probably okay. Not that I'm condoning that or anything like that.
Nostalgia condones Pornhub.
We likely wouldn't pursue legal action. So, actually, we might, because that would make us money. But I digress. Well, actually, it wouldn't, because hiring lawyers is very expensive. Because we were looking into drafting an operating agreement when we started the company, and it was going to be an ungodly amount of money. And we just said, okay, we'll just have an unofficial operating agreement, and that'll be that.
Have you been doing any advertisements for Apollo Media?
I don't really know how much I want to get. That's basically the thing we're talking about most right now, and that's all I really want to say about that. But things are going to happen. So.
Okay, that's all we know. Because I remember you hearing something about doing advertisements, and just I didn't hear anything else about it. So.
Yeah, and like
briefly talking about posting ads on Facebook or something.
Right. Well, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube is what we're really looking at. And we want to launch a marketing campaign. And the problem becomes, to make our money back, we either need a bunch of fans to help us with crowdfunding. We need products and companies that want to, sponsor us, basically. or we need to get partnered on YouTube with an MCN and then make money that way. And for any of those things to happen, we need to be much larger than we are right now. And so for us to be much larger than we are right now, our content's certainly not the best out there, but most of the people that watch our stuff like it. So our problem is the fact... Yeah, and I really appreciate that, and I say that from the bottom of my heart. It's like, the problem in my eyes, and we're trying to make all our content better, is not the quality of our content. Most people that watch it seem to like it. The problem is not enough people are watching it. So we have to get it in front of more people, and the way to do that is marketing. The problem is we tapped our budget to where we are right now, so now we have to say, okay, we want to put $500 into marketing. Where's that going to come from?
Dude, I'm sorry. Some ad on YouTube came up. I didn't hear like the last 5 seconds of what you said.
No, you're good. I was basically just saying we want to market it, we want to bring it to more people. The problem is, where does that money come from? So.
Okay.
Anyway, we're off in the weeds now.
Okay. Okay, there's the link.
Easy says, yeah, M50Xs. That is exactly the headphones I was talking about, yeah.
I have never heard of them, but they sound pretty cool. That's a cool name.
Yeah, Audio-Technica, I don't know why, but a lot of producers you see use M50Xs. I'm not sure why, but that's just like almost the universal standard for editing. And especially like live listening and monitoring, it's a lot of people use them. So...
Do you have Ice Hockey by Activision?
Could you make it to the Milky Way? Alright.
I accidentally hit the video. Let me turn it. It was very loud. Jesus.
Very loud.
Like, very loud.
Very loud.
Very loud.
But it's like Apollo Creed when he says very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
Alright, I'm queued up and good to go whenever you are, Wumbo.
Alright, this is Atari Ice Hockey video game. This is Ice Hockey by Activision. An amazing game, an amazing commercial.
I'm ready when you are.
In 3, 2, 1.
Do you have Ice Hockey by Activision?
Think you're ready for it? One of the roughest video games around for your Atari game system? Ready to battle for the puck? Well, to inflict fierce body checking, furious stick checking, ruthless tripping. You really think you're ready for all that? I'm ready! Fine. Here's your charge.
Now, do you want to play Ice Hockey by Activision?
I'm okay. I don't need to. I'm good. I trust Activision enough to never play that game ever. Only in the 80s, man. I may be going off on a limb saying this, but I am cognizantly aware of the fact that man, I wish I had come of age in the 80s, because everything about 80s culture is just always so awesome to me.
And then you grew up in the 90s too. Experience the 90s, man. Video games and such.
Everything I look at in the 80s, though, I'm like, damn, I wish I was a part of that.
Like what? Like, wait, I'm trying to think.
Well, just like movies and TV and music. Oh my god, 80s
hair.
Music. The hair, the styles. Like, if you look at my wardrobe, it's ridiculous. Like, probably most of the things I wear that I think I look quote unquote good in are all like, oh my god, that looks like you came from 1985. What are you doing?
Like, did you have the Flock of Seagulls haircut? If you know what that is.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
I unfortunately do know what that is. Not everything from the 80s was good.
I'm going to show the viewers what the fuck I'm talking about, if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's an amazing haircut.
We got, Terminator. Well, no. Terminator was 80s, yeah. And we got Empire in the 80s, and we got computer. Well, computers really started in the 70s, but computers became a thing in the 80s. We got, the Mac, obviously.
No. Yes.
What?
No. I'm trying to find the right one. Yeah, that's an amazing haircut, guys.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Mac, and I was like, I know for a fact it came out in the 80s.
The Apple II, the Apple IIe, the Apple IIe Plus, and so on and so forth. They're very revolutionary computers.
Oh, yeah.
Side-by-side comparison, Wolverine has a better haircut.
Wolverine's haircut is awesome. By the way, fun fact, when I don't shave for 3 days, people start calling me Wolverine because I have mutton chops like you would not believe.
I'm kind of like that, too.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's unfortunate. I lost the genetics lottery on that front, so...
You know, I'm surprised we actually went through an entire stream without cutting out.
I feel like we should get a trophy or something. Is there somewhere we get a trophy for that?
Which means no editing for me, thank the Lord.
Woo! Who do we write about getting a trophy for that? Is there some sort of national
Twitch,
no
just
cutout trophy?
ask Twitch.
If the lovely, lovely people in the chat right now would write the kind executives at Twitch and tell them that I, Wumbo223 over on the Twitters, and Nostalginator over on the Twitters, successfully streamed an episode of #GEP without it cutting out once, and they won a trophy, I'd be very appreciative. So.
And I'm actually recording this at the same time, too, and it didn't cut out, so...
Woo!
Yeah.
Tell me, did you sail across the town? Did you make it to the Milky Way?
Nostal, like, every night there's an inside joke. First, it's good mood food, then it's...
It is good mood. Hey, it's good mood food anymore. Now it is slicing up freshness.
Slicing up freshness, yes.
I don't know what marketing exec thought that was better, but
a genius,
I will go on record in saying that I think good mood food is a much better tagline.
Congrats, your computer wasn't trash for one night. Thank you, Easy.
Damn, Easy is shitting on you there, Wumbo. He is not a fan. Wow.
Fucking bish, man.
Oh my god. Gonna kill each other.
Like, Easy, obviously you saw the thing on Twitter that I showed you, the needle drop thing. Once I heard there was an album called Bish, I immediately thought of you, Easy. It's fucking hilarious.
You guys are gonna get married one day, I can feel it. You guys argue way too much for anything else to happen. It's the only explanation, is you're in love with each other. So that's it. It's the only thing that explains it.
Yeah, right.
So, Wumbo, if you don't mind, I'd like to have a real talk with you for a second here.
Yeah, sure.
Where do you see this podcast 12 months from now?
I don't really know.
Okay. Because I honestly think we could keep doing this just in perpetuity, just forever.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I would certainly like to do this 12 months from now.
Yeah. I'm just curious. Like, we've been doing this 6 weeks now. I was just curious what your thoughts were. Because, like, this is super low maintenance for me, and, like, I really enjoy doing it. And it's kind of just, hey, we can shoot the shit and talk about games and nerdy stuff for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm happy with how this has been going.
He's saying he's a flattered.
Did I say I was jealous?
You sounded jealous.
Wait, what was I saying when I sounded jealous? I don't even remember.
That Easy and I have an amazing relationship.
Oh, no, I was just saying that you guys should probably just go fuck already, because it seems like that's what's going on. I mean, I don't want to call a spade here, but you guys are clearly in love. I'm not saying it's my place to get in on that. I'm just saying that you guys probably should act on some of this tension. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever you're into, not into that.
I don't see why you're ashamed, Wumbo. Like, there's not really a problem with it. You're in love with Easy. That's okay.
It's fun. Gotta move viewers somehow. More people gotta... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think... And you and I have talked a little bit about whether or not we want to do this as a live show or as a pre-recorded show. I feel like...
My channel doesn't really get that many views to begin with, so that's why. The reason why I wanted to stream on here in the first place, on your channel in particular, too, because it would gain attention. Because you have at least a small following on here.
Sure, and what we've seen pretty consistently is people pop their head in, and they say, hey, what game are you playing? And we go, oh, we're doing a podcast. And they go, oh, cool, and then they leave.
This is boring. Wumbo is stupid.
No, you're not. Everybody loves you. If anyone who's a actual part of the Nostalgia community likes you, Wumbo, you're a lovely, lovely person.
Yeah.
But I think if we're to make this podcast relevant for live streaming, I think the next step is actively playing games in the background for people to watch. And again, this podcast doesn't have to be relevant in terms of live streaming, and that doesn't need to be the avenue we go down. But I feel like if we want to make this a live streaming podcast and a successful one, it's going to be there has to be a game engaging people when they hop in, and we need to be changing what game we're playing all the time to fit with that. And I feel like that's how we make this relevant on Twitch. But this doesn't necessarily have to be.
I've seen podcasts on Twitch that they don't play gameplay at all; they just talk. So
yeah. And I've seen that a little bit, too. The problem is our following One,
it's based
I don't
off
think
of playing gameplay to begin with instead of just
Right.
talking like this. Yeah, people were
well,
expecting.
specifically 75-80% horror gameplay, and specifically out of that, Five Nights at Freddy's,
Well,
And that's not to say what we're doing here is any worse in terms of quality than what I usually do. In fact, I'd probably say it's a little bit higher. The problem is that when people are expecting me, when I go live, pretty decent chance I'm doing something Five Nights at Freddy's related, and they come in and they see a story on a screen with no gameplay, they lose interest very quickly. And that doesn't mean it's any worse, that just means it's not what people are expecting. So.
I don't really know, man. I don't. My computer can't handle me playing gameplay with OBS going off in this background.
Sure.
I've tried it a lot. I can't do it.
No, and again, I'm not saying this is a next week thing. I'm not saying this is a 1 month from now thing. The show's going to grow and it'll change as we get older, as it gets older, and we'll figure out how to do things. And again, I don't even know if we'll be streaming the show a year from now. I have no idea. But I think to remain relevant on Twitch, we should at least try to make it more relevant to gameplay as opposed to just stories.
Okay.
And making it relevant on Twitch, again, may not be our goal, and that's totally okay. So.
Yeah, we could just go straight off to YouTube instead.
Yeah. Which, for podcasts, I mean, like, most podcasts get way more attention on iTunes than they do on YouTube. So we could go that route as well. You never know.
But does that cost money? I don't.
So.
I mean, you do, since the Collabcast is on,
Right. There are several ways to do it. Basically, regardless of how you get your podcast on iTunes, because getting it on iTunes is actually relatively simple. You have to have an RSS feed with some sort of sound hosting service. So we use SoundCloud. So you don't technically have to pay to get it on iTunes because podcasts, by law, are free on iTunes. You can't charge for them.
Okay.
But we have to pay a monthly subscription for SoundCloud because SoundCloud, after I think it's 4 hours of footage, they start charging you for the space.
Oh, okay.
So you have to pay hosting fees. There's probably ways to do it for free. Of the week before we launched Apollo Media, a good 2.5 days of that were spent trying to figure out how to get on iTunes. So I tried several different ways to try and do it for free. Eventually what I arrived at was SoundCloud was going to be the easiest and the cheapest way to do it. So getting it on iTunes now won't be a problem. It would cost a little bit per month, but it's not too big of a deal. So.
Okay.
The problem I've ran into since then is getting things updated on iTunes is a whole different story. We'll submit it, and we have to submit a WAV to Bandcamp, which we still haven't gotten all figured out, and then an MP3 to SoundCloud, and then a different type of MP3 to SoundCloud that's not visible, so that iTunes can see it. And you can't log into iTunes and edit things there. It's all directly linked to your SoundClouds. It's been a nightmare. That's why only the first 2 episodes are up on iTunes, and we just don't have enough time to figure it out. But we'll get there. So.
Yeah. I guess over time we'll try to figure out where we want to, what direction we want to take this podcast, and you know.
And we're still getting our footing, right? It's like we've only been doing this for 6 weeks. You and I are still building a relationship as co-hosts, so I feel like get the show figured out, figure out what we really want it to be, and I feel like the structure we pretty much have down, and I'm sure that'll change a little bit as time goes on, but we're still figuring out what this is, so I don't feel like we have to rush into anything too soon. But.
Okay. I was thinking, are there podcasts on YouTube Gaming?
That's an excellent question. And I don't actually know very much about YouTube Gaming.
Me neither. Obviously it's like a clone of Twitch.
Right.
Just YouTube, but it's doing better than I thought it would.
Right, yeah. We can certainly look into it.
Yeah. Oh, well, for the time being, I guess we'll keep it on Twitch until we figure shit out.
Yeah. Real quick on Twitter, our dear friend Easy, who's also in the chat here, asked, how do you get the Collabcast on iTunes? Several ways to do it. I recommend getting a SoundCloud subscription and then upload your podcast as an MP3 to SoundCloud. And then just submit your RSS feed to iTunes. You can go to the iTunes podcast page and click Submit a Podcast and give them the link to your RSS feed and mess with all the settings. And then have an iOS device that is in no way connected to any of your accounts and use that to test to make sure everything is fine. Because if it shows up on your computer, it will not necessarily show up on the actual Apple Store. So you got to be careful with that.
Okay. More you know.
The more you know.
The more you know. Alright, I'm starting to get a little bit tired.
No, you're good, man. You wanna call it quits?
Yeah, call it quits. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Gaming Etc. podcast. It will be re-released on my YouTube channel, iWumbo223, possibly later in the week. All the previous episodes are in a playlist on my channel there if you want to see more from that. Go to Apollo Media to see all of Nostal stuff. Follow us on Twitter, me on Twitter, iWumbo223, Nostalginator at Nostalginator. And my Twitch channel, it's over there too. Same name, Wumbo223.
Yep. I'm twitch.tv/Nostalginator. Nostalginator is spelled Nostalgianator. As Wumbo mentioned, Apollo Media is the company I run. We upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m., except for the last 2 weeks because everything's gone to shit. But we've gotten most of our uploads up on time. And that's www.apollovideos.com. APOLLOVIDEOS.
And all the things that we're talking about will probably be linked in the description below on YouTube. That's what I usually do. So.
Fun stuff.
All right. Thank you, Easy, for sticking on for the entire time again. Very glad that you're here, you fucking bish.
Yeah. Thanks to anyone else that came in here, even if it was just for a couple minutes. We appreciate it. Give us any feedback you possibly can. We're still figuring out what this podcast is. So, any thoughts, good or bad? If you hate something, please let us know.
Yeah. If you hate Wumbo, though, well,
you should probably find a different podcast.
Yeah.
May I suggest the Collabcast now on iTunes?
And sorry that I stutter sometimes.
You're good, man. Did you see that image of that Facebook post I did the other day?
I'm sorry, I don't usually do Facebook, so...
No, you're good. It was on Twitter. I posted an image of a conversation I had on Facebook, and there was some guy in my feed. I had no idea who he was on Facebook, but he was like, "Who's your favorite YouTuber?" And it was 4 or 5 people in the comments being like, "Oh, this person, no, this person, no, this person, no, this person, no, this person." And I came in out of nowhere, no idea who this guy was, and I was like, "Me, www.apollovideos.com." And the tweet was, I'm pretty sure I crossed the line. I'm just not sure exactly when it happened. Because it was like way past the point of a shameless plug, and it was just being plain rude. And I was like, hey, I don't know this guy anyway. So.
Yeah.
Shameless self-promotion.
Shameless plug.
You bet. Alright, well, Wumbo, it was a pleasure. I love you like a brother. I look forward to this every Sunday night, so.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you beautiful people for watching, and have yourself a great night, and take care.
Easy, follow Wumbo on Tinder. iWumbo.
I don't have, okay, I'll be honest, I had a Tinder for a day, and then I deleted it.
Find him, Easy.
It's
will
gone.
Swipe right. He will swipe right, Easy, believe me.
No.
Swipe right on Wumbo on Tinder. Do it. Do it, Easy.
You have to know my full name to find me on I don't use Tinder anymore, but like I said, I used it for a day and I completely lost interest.
So I want to start making dating profiles for everyone that comes on the Collabcast, but I'm pretty sure at least one of them would get mad about that.
I'm pretty sure Ryan would love that. Seth, I don't know.
I'm sure. Well, like, there's one girl we're trying to get on right now who a couple of years ago I went on a date with, so I'm pretty sure... We weren't, like, dating, but it was just one date.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if I made her a Tinder profile, she wouldn't be happy about that. But I'm still trying to figure out if I should do it or not. So, we'll see.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah, let's quickly devolve into a Tinder podcast.
Alright, bye guys.
Bye!
Bye-bye. Yeah.
68 million views, Wumbo, on Train Drops to Jupiter.
God damn.
What do we have to do to get that many views on the Gaming Etc. podcast?
Listen to Train?
I think we have to get nude. I'm pretty sure it's the only way.
No.
We have to get nude on an audio only.
This isn't Omegle.
Well, I was going to say, they also can't see us, so it's kind of...
Okay, that's a good point. So, you don't know that I could be naked right now.
That's a really good point. Very good point.
I don't know that you're naked.
I typically only podcast naked. We put clothes on.